Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It has been a long time since we've been together, since season 1. Welcome, guys and gals, to season 2 of 2020 ProBots. We have a delightful amount of bots to be participating. I am super excited to be here and to show you all the hard work that many of the people behind the scenes have put together. And absolutely a great amount of skill has been shown by the bot makers to make this happen. Thinking about how we've gotten to this point from the very first season of ProBots, where there was literally bots breaking left, right, and center, to some of the quality bots that we're going to be able to present to you this season, I couldn't be more proud. And thank you so much for joining us here today. I'm going to pass you on to our esteemed casters, the one, the only. Take it away, guys.
The two, the only, technically.
The two and only. Sorry.
The two and only. Well, welcome, like Drek said, to ProBots. Thank you, Drek Sama, for that lovely intro. And yes, thank you for joining us. I am Andy Man.
And I am Andrew Sword, despite what these labels say.
Ignore the labels, it's fine. But yeah, we're back for season 2 of 2020. We have 16 amazing bots, and we're going to be doing 4 best of 3s with those bots tonight. So it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. Ender Sword, are you ready for some ProBot action?
I am definitely ready for it. Ready for 16 bots, which, as Drek had said, is a beautiful number. It's just
Perfect
a lovely number. Works out really well in bracket form. Yeah, really excited to see the next evolution of where we're at.
Yeah, no, these bots have definitely worked hard to get here. We'll take a look later if we have it set up, just the bracket for these bots that they had to go through to qualify. We took the top 16 bots through the AI Arena Season 1. This was the first official season for AI Arena, so definitely go check that out, see what they're doing. They have an awesome Discord, so I'm sure somebody in chat can post that for you if you want to join in. If you want to become a bot maker, this is a phenomenal place to be as well. So big shout out to all of our bot makers who qualified here. This is going to be, I'm so excited. This is going to be awesome.
Should be pretty cool.
Yes, indeed.
Should be pretty cool indeed.
It will be pretty cool. And as you can tell, we are now doing everything through YouTube. We are no longer on Twitch. So please check out how you can support ESChamp through YouTube. You can definitely become I believe, is it a subscriber there as well? Is it the same term?
They do call it something different.
Or they call it something different. It's the same basic principle.
Yeah.
YouTube members, it's the same thing. Or you can also check out our Patreon. If you type in !join, I believe, you can check out our Patreon. Is that right? Yes, it is. You can become a Crown Club member. It's been a while. We got to shake the rust off, get ready for season 2 here. But yeah, you'll also get member shout outs. You'll be able to join us for live events should live events resume anytime in the near future. Definitely stay tuned for that. It's going to be a little while, but please think about joining and becoming a Crown Club member and joining our Discord as well. It goes a long way to support ESChamp and future endeavors, as well as ProBots, which again, this is like our biggest season, I think, so far, right?
Yeah, in terms of number of entrants, I'm pretty sure we've always kind of gunned for this mark, the 16, and there's always been 1 or 2 that maybe didn't make it through or whatever. So yeah, I think it's the first time we get a nice round bracket number.
Yeah, definitely. And we've got some new bots as well. Definitely some old returning bots that we're all going to love to see. Some very strong bots from previous seasons. But we've also got some new, I was going to say new oil, I guess. New circuitry in the mix here. So we're going to
lube.
Yeah, we'll be talking about them as we get to their games and stuff. But yeah, thank you again, everybody, so much for being here. You can also check out our forum at !community if you have not already. It's a great little place to stay up to date with what we're doing here on ESChamp. You can also partake in some discussions there, ask questions about StarCraft. We've got a bunch of learning material that we've been putting out recently, some resource spotlights, that kind of thing. So definitely stay tuned for more of that in the future as well. And yeah, I think we're ready. Are we ready? Oh yeah, we should do a member shout out before we dive into these games. Yeah. Again, to become a Crown Club member, type in !join in the chat. You'll get an awesome shout out like we're about to show you right now. right. Thank you, Marco. Awesome stuff to see some Crown Club members. Hopefully you're here in the chat today. Everybody else in chat, get hyped because we're about to dive into game number 1 here in just a moment. Once production's ready, we're going to be showing you our bot authors. We're going to be talking about them a little bit. So let's go ahead and dive into game number 1 right now. Series number 1, rather.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, we've got MicroMachine versus Snowbot here. Are we not doing the intros, though? Or are we...
Go to brackets? Okay.
Okay, go to brackets. Well, I just see the game, so I'm like, we're starting the game.
We're a little too eager.
I'm so excited. We're so eager. Okay, yeah, let's take a look at the bracket first. I can't believe we forgot to do that. Winners bracket. So, yeah, this is double elimination format. We have a new format this season, which is going to be very exciting. Double elimination, we're going to be able to see a lot of awesome bot matches with this new format. As soon as we get that bracket up, we'll be taking a look at that and seeing all the bots that did qualify. I'm excited for some of these new bots because I've heard some of the cheesy things. Hey, oh, we're getting there. There it is. Beautiful. All right, so yeah, up on top there, we've got MicroMachine versus Snowbot. I believe, yep, that is going to be our first series this evening. MicroMachine, of course, last season's. Tier won last season.
MicroMachine
got second. Season. Yeah, previous season winner. Definitely, and he's won seasons before that as well. Yeah. So definitely one of the strongest bots in this round of 16 here against Snowbot, who's a relatively new bot. We actually did not receive any creator submitted information about Snowbot, so we're just going to kind of go in and see what Snowbot's got in store for us. It's going to be exciting. I don't even know what race Snowbot is.
Yeah, I don't know. I just assume it's Canadian. But so is MicroMachine.
Maybe it's from the Arctic. I don't know. Yeah, and here's a look at tonight's matchups. We are doing 4 best of 3s. We've got TyrP versus Kagamine coming up second. And then after a little break, we're going to be doing Ketroc versus ANIbot. Ketroc, another new bot. And then Spiny versus Spudde to wrap things up. Spiny had its debut last season, so it's really cool to see it here in season 2. And then Spudde, also a new bot. So very cool. Yeah, a lot of fresh
to see the new ones, and it's really good too to see those like ones going into like their second or third season, because the new bots evolve like the fastest. That they just completely change. Sometimes even in the same season that we've seen them. Like there was one bot I think like 2 seasons ago that like only Ling rushed, and then by the end of that season it was doing like lurker.
The Nidus worm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that one. Yeah. So it just massively evolved to something different. So, yeah, it's cool to see.
Yeah, no, we saw a lot of new stuff actually last season. I've heard some of the stuff that's about to happen this season. We're definitely going to see some new things. So I think we're ready to go ahead now and dive into game number 1. What do you think, production? Let's do it.
Sounds right.
Zero production problems starting now. Don't we have an intro screen like with the author?
RR and Unusual's MicroMachine. Spaceman's Snowbot.
All right. Actually, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, correcting me in chat. Spiny got second last season, not MicroMachine. Yeah, that was my mistake. Thank you, Infi. Chat's always here to correct me. That's why I love you guys. You know, somebody's got to bring the knowledge here. But here we are on Golden Wall with our first game. Now, you're familiar with MicroMachine. You've actually played MicroMachine and beaten
MicroMachine, and a few
number of times.
Now. A few of the iterations, and yes, and have beaten it. Which would be very difficult to do if I didn't know a lot about it, because it did also play Steadfast, the notable GM and caster, and it took him right to the limit on his skill.
Well, it was about to beat him, and then it crashed, right? Or something, or it was like kind of about to beat him, or something.
It was on the verge. I think it was like killing one queen away from beating him, but then he just kind of stabilized and it did some things. But I think it started to lose in like the battle cruiser switch or something. but it was, yeah, had them on the edge. It's one of the ones that if you don't get ahead of it, it's just going to spiral out of control on you. And it's obviously got the proxies going down here already.
Oh, apparently our intros were quite low. Apparently I can't type capital letters all in the chat there.
Oh, no.
You got denied. If you guys want to do the intros again, you can, because I'm quite proud of our awesome little bot intros. But yeah, here we go. Reaper coming in, jumping into the main base. Snowbot not doing anything. No drone pulls or anything. Seem to be really programmed in. They are just going to work until they die. That drone, I thought he was going to attack for a second, but no, he's going to do something down on the low ground. Yeah, just transferring. He's I'm getting out of here. This is too dangerous. And then gets gunned down. He's that guy in the horror movie that always panics and runs away too quickly and then just gets killed off.
Good use of the Reaper grenades here too, right? And a pretty good placement. Reaper backing up away from these links, but not being too tentative either, which I like. Sometimes some of the Reaper Micro has had the tendency to be so cautious that they actually just don't get hits in, and it's seeming to do a good job right here.
Yeah, I was just seeing that out of one of our bots, I think, tonight. I can't remember exactly which one. I want to say ANIbot, maybe, but it's one of the stalkers. I've seen stalkers be very tentative, you're talking about. They just pull back against like one probe or something. There's 20 stalkers that are running away from it. It's like, But anyway, no, this does get pushed back. Snowbot's got a couple queens out now. He's got the second base up and running, continuing to drone as well, which is good because workers are a little bit behind. But with that 2 base, once he can get it saturated, Snowbot's going to be in a really good spot. As long as it doesn't lose the queens. Run away, queens. Oh. Yeah,
pretty far off creep there. Hard to get back onto it and get a little aggressive. They really need to. It's a certain type of map where obviously you've got the low ground onto the high ground again, but the queens really want to stay up on that high ground.
Yeah, well, they definitely are juicy targets for that Cyclone. Oh, so are these Overlords. I love the little dance, the Cyclone. Yeah. It's a little shimmy. It's good. Now it's active, and I think MicroMachine definitely has, evolved even since last season. It's just getting a little bit crisper, a little bit cleaner with some of its micro and what targets it's choosing, that kind of thing. Wings are doing okay though right now.
Yeah, they're getting in and at least getting some hits on, but they are ultimately getting cleaned up. And the distance these queens are willing to walk out is a little concerning.
Love that.
I'm kind of wondering if they're being baited. Yeah, are they baited by the barracks, or are they just following the Reapers, or what the motivation there is?
Well, and I love the barracks just to give him high ground vision. Kind of negates that like you were talking about the high-low ground problem, especially with the Cyclone, so you can keep that lock on.
Yeah.
Oh, and Banshees are here now.
Banshee joining.
I think this is definitely more Cyclone play than I've seen out of MicroMachine before. Usually, isn't it just Reapers, Banshees for the most part?
Yeah, I know that it varied a little by race, depending what it was playing against. But it was usually like a couple, and sometimes it was Hellions in past seasons, but I think the Cyclone is probably a bit better. Yeah,
well, MicroMachine definitely knows he's playing against a Zerg right now.
Lipier.
I like that. I'm hoping we see a little bit more of that. I always liked that in the previous seasons when the bots, have a little personality and say some stuff. So I'm really hoping that a bit more of that got programmed in this season.
Exactly, especially when it is contextual. Like it called out seeing the speedlings there, and it will do that sort of thing. It kind of lets you know what the bot is thinking or what it's noticed. The burrows there on the roaches, and a scan going down, able to pick those off, or at least one of them there is cleaned out.
Yeah, and exactly what you were saying there. It was we kind of see its thought process. It sees the burrowed roach, and that technically is cloaked, but it would be the same thing if you saw a Dark Templar or something like that. It's kind of registering, there's cloak out, and then hopefully from there it'll get detection or have scans available or something like that to deal with. But yeah, man, MicroMachine doing work with this Banshee. I think the Banshee and the Cyclone combo is just so strong early game against Zerg, and it's really showing here. But the burrow, ooh, look at that. That was crisp.
Yeah, the burrow's really good here. They're going to keep a lot of this alive. Actually, that sight blocker doing some damage to the Cyclones there as well, as is going to break line of sight every time they walk through it, and the roaches are able to camp on the other side and they're able to take one out.
Yeah, no barracks or Banshee there to provide the vision, so that's awesome for the roaches. And I'm loving this burrow play. Is he getting movement? Yeah, Glio Reconstitution is on the way, so we could see some definite roach burrow movement into the natural or something like that. And there's has MicroMachine ever gotten Ravens?
I think it has late game. When it has noticed detection, it has made a few to go with like
Okay.
battle cruisers. I think so.
I wonder if it recognizes that with Burrow, though, as opposed to like a Dark Templar or something. You have to have the detection with Burrow. Maybe that's not the same thought. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe not the same sort of thing. And again, it does respond different to different races. So I don't really know. We've also seen some instances in the past where, like, say it detected that it was fighting against air units, and it would switch almost entirely to Viking production instead of Banshee production, when it really should have made like a couple and switched back. Yeah, so hard to know what it will do, but so far it's doing a lot of work. It's keeping the army supply down, but Snowbot's economy is okay. It's not as strong as MicroMachine at the moment, but it's also not, these attacks aren't happening in the main base. It's not really stopping it.
Well, I was going to ask and see if you'd noticed why is Snowbot's economy so much further behind? Was it because I don't remember a lot of workers dying? I remember that initial, few.
Yeah, initial Reapers.
So has Snowbot just been way too focused on making a couple roaches at a time and hasn't been able to get the drone count, or?
Yeah, I think that's the case. I mean, we saw probably about 12 to 16 lings go down, and we've probably seen about 6 roaches die. Now we are going to lose some of these drones here as they get stuck out. But yeah, it was just building army that died.
Yeah, okay. And yeah, just the Banshees now clumping up. Yeah, no real answer for it. You're going to need either a lot of queens and be able to pick 1, 2 off as they come in. Because if they clump up, like, what do we have, 6 now? 7? Something like that? Yeah, there's nothing's going to stop these Banshees at this point. This is definitely going to be game 1. This is a best of 3. Again, we are doing new format this season. No more round robin. So we're going to be able to see a couple games out of these two. So maybe Snowbot can make something happen in game number 2.
Indeed. Yeah, and again, it can be map dependent on a lot of things. Like, you'd often think that the bots would behave pretty much the same way, and to an extent they do, but little things like map positioning, the positioning of bases and things like that
can be huge.
Difference.
Yeah.
Plus,
absolutely.
some of the bots are actually adaptive in that they have multiple builds, and if they see a build that beats them, they'll switch to another when they play the same opponent. MicroMachine actually at the start of this game mentioned, I don't know if it was an idle brag or whether it was an actual statistic, but it mentioned that it's won 98% of games against this bot. So I don't know if that's real, but if it is,
MicroMachine, probably.
Yeah, it probably is. It probably is. But yeah, there we go. So they do adjust, is my point.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Well, and like you're saying too, especially with Nidus worms and stuff, the map positioning can really play a big part of it. Obviously, we didn't see any here, but one of our bots does. I'm drawing a total blank right now. Who normally does who was doing the Nidus worms last season?
Oh yeah,
I'll think of it later.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got game number 2 coming up in just a moment, everybody. Once production is ready. Paul, that's right. Paul was our Nidus spot. Yes. So good. Paul not in this season, unfortunately. No Paul, but
has potential.
Yes, definitely has potential. Yeah, definitely check out if you guys want to make a bot and get involved in something like this. There are multiple kind of ladders now, it seems like, as well as this ProBots, which you have to qualify for. But there were 50 plus bots on the ladder that these bots had to qualify. So it is a very active scene. A lot of bots, a lot of programmers making really cool bots that are doing some really awesome stuff.
Yeah, and an open community that's pretty willing to help other people get started in it. And, and give advice. There's a competitive nature to this, but there's also a very collaborative one on just coming up with good ideas and methods to do things.
On just helping each other learn and making it better. We probably would not have gotten this far if it had not been for all these bot makers collaborating and working together on all this.
Exactly.
So it's very cool. All right, let's do game number 2.
Get it going.
Ready. Okay, we're going to, in 30 seconds, go to game number 2. It's going to be fun. Right. While we wait, be sure, again, to check out our forum, !community. So, Endersword, you've been making some YouTube videos. You gonna start getting back into StarCraft content?
Probably will. Will. I've been making, like, the most random things. I think my last 3 videos were an explanation of Star Wars hyperdrive mechanics.
Yep.
complaint about those stupid Facebook things where they show you
The
equations and you have to solve, the unsolvable
puzzles or whatever.
equations,
Yeah.
and then I forget what the something else stupid, but stuff like that.
All right. So now we're ready. Game number 2.
Rack RR and Unusuals, MicroMachine. Spacemen's Snowbot.
Wasn't that a different bots icon? Isn't that ANIbot's icon?
I think that is a generic icon if they don't have one. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's our generic icon. So yeah, be sure, bot authors, if you did not submit information, it's probably not too late. You could still send something to our production team. We'd love to get, if you have a little image you want to represent your bot, definitely send it our way, as well as any little info we have. So we do have some, fun little statistics about some of these bots. MicroMachine, for example, is coded in C++. Fun fact, one of our few bots actually that is in C++. Most rely on Python.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the most common. Sort of thing. So, but there's a few reasons why they pick different scripts or different languages. I mean, one is just familiarity of the author with what that language is, but there are apparently some different capabilities that are easier in some than others, and so on. So, pretty cool to see the diversity there as well.
What else we got here? Again, no info on Snowbot, unfortunately. If the author here is watching, make sure you get us that info. We'd love to tell everybody about it. Yeah, we'll just make stuff up. But we've got, what is this? Proxied Factory coming down. That is interesting. And in a very blatant position as well. This is not hidden. This is just where the Zerg is going to go take a third base.
In the first game, it was off to the side, so where there'd be a fourth, but this one's right in the face of his opponent. So that is a little more aggressive. And we'll see if that gets attacked a bit quicker. Like the Snowbot response was a lot of lings fairly early, not a lot, but like 16-ish or so to try and push this back. And it was initially doing a pretty good job of pushing it back. So if it can get it back enough that it can then attack that factory and barracks, then maybe that makes a bit of a difference. But we'll see.
Well, and I'd love to see too, because again, these bot makers are allowed to update between weeks. So we're going to see these bots evolve as this season progresses. One thing I'm noting about Snowbot, just a little bit of drone micro would help so immensely, because the Reaper is a little bit tentative about diving into that mineral line. It really wants to stay on the edge. We saw, poking in it, but it just kept staying really towards the edge of the gas there. It didn't want to dive into the middle of it. So even something as simple as pulling a drone away that's taking a hit or something could really help out keep some of these drones alive. And I think that's what's going to slow Snowbot down more than anything, is just losing a drone here or there. Because this micro is so good. I mean, it's MicroMachine.
Yeah, it's getting
of course the micro is good.
I think there's a few things that are going to work a little bit in Snowbot's favor, at least so far in this map. One is that the queens, as I say, when they're walking between the creep patches, but they're less likely to go as far off creep, given that the cliff is kind of a back door. So they're not as likely to go all the way out. And the fact that there's a cliff there means that's where the Reapers are microing. The Lings are also less likely to just chase halfway across the map, because they'll lose them when they jump out of the cliff.
Yeah. Well, and unfortunately, the Queen's kind of getting out of position. One did finally show up there, but they're really getting distracted by the frontal assault and just the barracks even. They keep going after that barracks a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're going to definitely need to stay grouped up as these Banshees start to come in, because it's going to get dicey.
And as predicted there, it did just put its third base down right in the face of it. So
what's this? I don't care. That's fine.
Yeah, going to be immediately targeted down by the Cyclones here as they clear out the Lings. Actually, the positioning of that factory is going to work out really well. If there was ever a large Ling flood, that's blocking off a lot of them.
Well, and I actually kind of like it. Obviously it's going to go down. It might he does cancel. Excellent. but it's buying time, actually. A lot of these Cyclones would otherwise be harassing the natural, maybe picking off drones, getting a queen or something. It really just bought a lot of time for maybe Snowbot to group up enough to deal with this. No detection, though, and that close Banshee's just going to rip it to shreds.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, these are just way too far off creep, and there's way too much damage there being brought onto them.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to get them picked off.
Oh, and as we saw last game, when the queens go down, the Banshees start to group up, and then there's just no answer, unfortunately, for it.
Yeah, and we haven't even gotten to that burrow roach area that we were at last game.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So I kind of think the front door has broken down a little earlier this time. The worker count is a lot lower. The tech is a lot lower, and that third base never even got up.
Well, it was those Reapers, right?
Yeah.
I think he killed all the drones on the gas initially.
Yeah,
that's going to slow all that down. Oof. Well, Zerglings are going to be streaming in here, but this looks to be about it for our first best of 3. The Cyclones doing their little lock-on dance. Every time they lock on, they do like a little circle or shimmy or something. Nice. Well, and it just kind of goes to show how much work they put into it. Actually, the bot's special trait is Intense Micro using pathfinding on influence maps, combat situation, and gas bunkers. What are gas bunkers?
Bunkers? I'm not sure what that means.
I'm going to need clarification on that one, Raph, or Unusual, if you're in the chat there.
Yeah, kind of weird. I don't know.
Are you guys trying to come up with Anderswan? Oh, that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Andersword sounds good. Andy Sword?
Andy Sword.
Andy Sword?
Yeah, and like Enderman works, but that's just the thing.
A gas bunker. We're getting shown.
That's a gas bunker. Oh, that's okay. Cool.
Oh, yeah, I saw something about this, actually. They were talking about it in the Discord. Yeah, he mines it's to keep it safe, essentially, from, like, mutos or whatever comes in. And it actually, I think it goes quicker because it's less walking distance to just load. And, you know, it's a bot doing it, so it can just do it perfectly every single time. That's awesome. I forgot about the gas bunkers.
That is pretty cool. I want to see at some point those long-distance bunker chains to mine, where you make like 20 bunkers going to the next mineral patches, and SCVs just transfer through them instantly.
Yeah, that would be hilarious to see. All right, there's your next task, MicroMachine. I want to see the full line of bunker mine. Okay, Roach One's gonna go down. This is it. The burrow does save some drones here, but desync.
Oh well.
MicroMachine is the victor.
Indeed.
Indeed. GG. All right. So that's our first best of 3. Well done, MicroMachine. Good to see you in this bracket, though. I'm really hoping that we see some cool stuff with that burrow play in future weeks out of our Zerg there. Again, double elimination. So he's going to have another chance.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, the burrow can still really confuse some opponents. Like they have a hard time or just don't deal strongly with cloaked or burrowed units. And,
MicroMachine was on top of it, though, with those scans. And, MicroMachine was all about that. So very cool stuff. All right, we're going to be getting our next series loaded up here. Until we do that, though, we're just going to sit and talk and talk about these bots a little bit. So I had a question, and hopefully maybe you can answer. If not, I'll ask a bot maker next week or something like that. But so I was reading about how these bots kind of learn. So specifically the machine learning and that kind of thing, but they're rewarded and to learn how to do stuff again. Now, how are you rewarded as a bot? You know, is it as simple as good, bad kind of?
It kind of is. So there's different ways to do it. And when it comes to something complex like this, it's where you choose to do that can lead to good and bad consequences. So obviously, if it was something as simple as just saying, did you win the game, you get a point. If you lose, you don't get a point. Then it will want to win the game. But it's so abstract that it needs to be rewarded for certain concepts during the game.
Actions.
So so you may want to reward it for killing enemy units. You may want to reward it for percentage of maps scouted or the income that it's getting or so on. The issue is in some of these metrics, they can lead you into reward-seeking behavior that is not conducive to winning the game. So it's a matter of balancing out what those reward metrics actually are and then making them go in the right direction.
And that, so what is the reward though? Is it just a simple line of code that says reward? Like, here you go, have a reward. This is good. You want more of that, essentially?
Basically, it would be as simple as saying you would like to maximize this number. And it not only does that, but it does that in a pretty extreme way, where the number 100 is almost infinitely better than the number 99. Gotcha. Like it really, really wants to maximize that number. And examples of like weird behavior that it can do is early on, I think the Google project had mentioned this, that they rewarded it for eliminating enemy units, but they didn't really have a way to tell it the difference between whether the unit was dead or not visible. So Alpha Star would learn to run away from enemy units or leave them on the high ground so that it could not see them. And then if it couldn't see them, then it didn't have to count them as enemy against it, and it felt better about itself. But then
that's some logic right there. Yeah, if I can't see you, that's hilarious.
And there's a lot of things like that. Another like glitch, a reward to it, which shouldn't matter in StarCraft, was the length of the game. So it said, even if you lose, we're going to give you points for elongating the game. So it rapidly, once it learned it was losing, it would rapidly change screens and lag the game so that it would extend the clock time. And there's a lot of things like that. A Tetris game learned to maximize score until it noticed it was going to lose. Then it just paused the game indefinitely.
Well, so every good player is a little BM at some point, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. They maximize their rewards, period, and regardless of how you do it. So balancing that really is a huge thing. And it's also where we get, and some of the bots that do machine learning micro can probably speak to it really well, but balancing aggression versus saving yourself as a unit is a really difficult balance. And it's one of the hardest things that we've seen through all these seasons is, when do I dive on something like a tank and let myself die, but it's helpful for the team? Or when do I preserve myself and run away like the stalkers you were talking about? Yeah. And finding that balance where you know when it's appropriate to put yourself at risk versus when it's appropriate to run away is very hard.
Makes sense. All right, very cool. All right, so we are ready for game number 2. We've got Tyr versus Kagamine coming up next. It's going to be a PVZ. Let's go ahead and roll into it. Yeah. It's a little short.
Jax's Kagamine.
All right. Unfortunately, no audio or graphic there for Tyr, but he does have it. We'll hopefully have that for the next game. Tyr represented by Thanos.
Yeah, just pretend.
Just pretend you saw Thanos there. Should see some sort of Thanos quote coming up here, but this one is going to be exciting. These are two of our definite stronger bots. They have been in so many seasons of ProBots now at this point, and they've always done really well. They've always gotten into like the final stages usually, or close to, if not the final. Tyr a little bit more so. I think Tyr's always been just a little bit better, at least not better as a bot, but just, gets into those later rounds a little bit more often.
Yeah, I think it's largely a matter of consistency. Kagamine has often really tried to change and adapt and do a lot of adjustments during the season and between seasons. And often that willingness to be like riskier and more on the edge of things makes it a little bit inconsistent in sometimes, but when it performs really well, it performs really well.
Oh, absolutely. I'm super excited to see what we've got here out of these bots.
Got scouting going on by both, and both of them responding. Actually, I think both of them by pulling 2 workers off to chase. Looks like just one by Tyr here now, but harassing that drone, and the probe from Tyr halfway across the map to go back.
Yeah, I'm a little sad no proxy out of here. I was kind of hoping for a little bit of cheese to start things off here. But yeah, I'm just going normal 2-base build here. Going to wall off the natural. Kagamine just going to probably go up into a third very soon as well. Kagamine is really good at kind of adapting and reading what the opponent's doing, right? Isn't that one of,
Yeah, and that's kind of it too. Many of the bots just kind of follow a script and they've got a few builds that they'll do. Kagamine is really trying to read what's going on and adapt to that, which is a high risk, high reward sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, and while Kagamine is doing that, Tyr actually has, what is it, around 60 builds now for Protoss.
Oh, wow.
So just a huge number of things that we could be seeing out of Tyr here.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I guess one of its biggest weaknesses, some timing attacks are a little bit difficult for it to hold. But I've always noticed Kagamine likes to do a little bit more macro and get up into that third base scenario, kind of go for the late game.
Exactly. That's when it has been the most successful, I think, historically. Kagamine's macro really can spiral out of control on things. And yeah. And Tyr, like you said, with a lot of builds, I think like 2 seasons ago, I remember literally just someone in chat being like, you should do this, like a Proxy Tempest. And by the next week, he had coded it.
He was doing it, yep.
Like,
I think that was me. I think
I think it was for you, yeah.
And then the, what was the other one? Something with the workers, too. It's like the worker or something. Oh, God, what was it? I'm drawing a blank. I'm going to have to go back and watch the whole season. But yeah, Tyr does some really fun
Did he do
things.
a Pro Brush? Maybe.
Yeah, I think it was. Well, and we saw that actually last season out of Tyr was a really cool little Pro Brush. And it turned into a scrappy SCV probe fight, and it was a lot of fun. I forget who that was against exactly. Yeah, I'm going to have to go back and look. But here we go, some aggression. 2 Adepts do go down, but man, they got a lot of kills.
Yeah, Adepts are one of those things that we've said with perfect AI coordination, you can perfectly target down workers. It only takes 2 of them to kill it. So if you got in like 8 of them, you could just clear it mineral line in like 3 seconds.
Oh, and it got into such a good spot in that mineral line, too. It was just perfect positioning, yeah. Well, Kagamine is not going to push the issue. Going to go back home. I thought I might try to break that down a little bit. Only 1 sentry there. Could have actually maybe gotten one of the gateways.
Yeah, possibly work the outside there.
Yeah, just going to chip away at it.
So going right up to a Templar Archives here already.
Oh. Archons? I think Tyr likes Archons.
Probably Archons. I don't know if we've seen things use Storm. I don't think we've necessarily seen things use Storm super well yet. I think it's one of the harder things to wield.
Yeah, like Storm drops in the mineral line or something.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody could do it, I think Tyr could, especially after seeing that nice Adept micro emplacement. Storm drop shouldn't be too far off, right?
Yeah, it should be doable. We have seen the ability to basically do calculations of center of mass, where it can look at a group of units and determine what the basically center of gravity is for that group of units. And that can be used for Ling surrounds, that could be used for guiding, say, a disruptor blast to the middle of a pack of units. So that could apply to something like a Storm as well.
I'd love to see Storm. I really hope it gets researched, but nope, just seeing a bunch of Archons. I saw one High Templar hanging out by itself for a minute, so I was hopeful, but no, they're just turning all into Archons here, which is going to be very good, especially with Kagamine's very Ling-heavy style. I've always noticed a very good amount of healthy amount of Lings, which is good because look at this map vision that Kagamine has right now. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, always really good with spreading the overlords around like this.
And the Lings. There's some Lings poking
and
around.
The Lings, yeah, Lings also just guarding key positions, making sure no hidden bases. They often do a really good job of picking off just like a stray unit or seeing a path that the army is coming, which can be super important.
Ooh, this is looking to be a doozy of an attack coming out of Tyr here. I'm hopeful, but I don't know if Kagamine is going to have enough to hold. Just a few queens and Lings is usually not a good answer against Zealot Archon. There we go, though. Kagamine going to go for a surround. Does get some decent surface area, but the Zealots are just way too numerous.
Yeah, and the Archons in the back. Too much damage. The queens here just getting mauled. And yeah, this is looking a bit like a walkover. It's starting
Steamroller.
It's starting at the 4th base there, immediately taking it out, and Yeah,
So, yeah, maybe a little bit on the greedy side.
Yeah, a lot of economy there actually for both of them in the 60 in workers, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's the roaches. Yeah, had the roaches maybe been out 30 seconds sooner or started the production, imagine the roaches with the lings. It definitely could have been a much closer fight here. But as it is, the natural goes down. Kagamine down to 2 bases while Tyr's up on 3. And there's just nothing that's going to stop these Archons at this point.
Yeah, exactly. They're so durable in the back, and like you said, that initial lings around actually got a lot of the zealots into low health, like hull damage, but then their shields have regenerated by the time the roaches came back out.
You might actually clean up a couple of these Archons, but it's got 46 workers. So yeah, no, the zealots are just going to be too much here. Roaches are doing a damn good job at kiting. I'm surprised they've survived this long, honestly. And he actually did kill off 2 of the 3 Archons that were with this fight. But yeah, it's just so many zealots. Roaches are just going to have too much work here. Yeah, more and more drones starting to go down now. 30-plus worker lead for Tyr. Oh, just like 30 seconds sooner. And I think Kagamine could have really done something with this.
Yeah,
maybe a minute. Maybe a minute sooner. Maybe a minute.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, so we'll just kind of run over. But it really is one of those things where it's either you've got a critical mass and just crush through everything, or you could be held up and this gets delayed a lot more. And if that economy had been able to run with like 64 drones behind it for, like you said, an extra minute or so while they were fighting, then this is a different story. Tyr also tends to do this, which is the initial attack goes until it's exhausted and it's not reinforced, really. It then builds a second wave instead of reinforcing the first wave.
It's almost a little bit of a Terran style, where you send out, group. Obviously, you want to reinforce if the push is going your way, but I kind of like that. Yeah, send wave after wave, and yeah, if the first wave is doing great, cool. If it fails, well, you don't want to send more units to fail with it. So
exactly. Yeah, and again, that's a tough thing to like code decision making based on that. So we've seen most bots pick one or the other. You either get something that attacks and it just goes into full attack mode from then on. I mean, MicroMachine's essentially that, which is it attacks at the about 30-second mark and then it just doesn't stop.
Yeah.
And it still macros behind it, still techs up behind it, but it never stops attacking. Other ones do it in this waveform.
Yeah. Well, as soon as Tyr gets ballsy enough to push across the map and finish this here, it should be a Protoss win for game number 1. We do have a cool replay system as well this season that we're going to be implementing, hopefully. So, yeah, they reminded me in chat there, I just saw. Yeah, just a little instant replay action. Oh, look at those Colossus. I love Colossus.
Yeah, they're a great addition.
It's always been one of my favorite units, honestly. Really like it. All right, well, Kagamine is alive, but it's barely breathing right now. It's 10 workers. It's just building lings because it knows it needs lings to try to survive, but it'll just never be able to produce enough, unfortunately. So, yeah, we could probably fast forward this a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I think Tyr is basically
105 army to 6.
Yeah.
It's close, but
it's basically going for that 200 supply before it goes. And as soon as it caps out.
Oh, no, yeah, almost.
Yeah.
199. Yeah, count it. We'll take it. And yeah, here we go. This will be the final death throes of, oh my goodness. Oh, the horse. Kagamine. Jesus. Can't tell if this is intentional or not.
At first, I thought it was a mistake. Now I think it's intentional. It's too on point, too on message.
Too on message. All right, well, we'll be diving into game number 2 here as soon as Tyr cleans this up. I'm excited to see how much diversity we're going to get out of Tyr. With 60-plus builds under its belt. Now, do you know how Tyr decides what build it's going to do? Because I know some choose at the beginning of the match, based on their opponent and the race and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think Tyr does. Tyr has both, I think, which is sometimes it just decides and sometimes it will scout and then make a decision based on just, did I see a gas or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, not sure, but I know it has a lot in there. I mean, it has probably like 6 times more than it did last time I saw him. So I don't know how it's picking, but
yeah.
it finds a way. But yeah, I appreciated the old one that used to tell you what it was going to pick and why. So it would kind of announce in chat, I've detected an early rush, therefore I am doing a 3-gate robo opening. And I am 55.762% certain that this is right.
Yeah.
Or something. So
it's pretty good odds. All right, so we got game number 2 here, I believe, assuming our stream doesn't crash here. I think that was actually unintentional.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I don't know what's going on exactly. Yeah.
We're just rolling with it. Again, thank you everybody for being here. Hopefully you're all having fun. Our opening night here of ProBots Season 2 of 2020. Again, 16 awesome bots going at it in a double elimination bracket over the next 8 weeks. So definitely come back next week. Check out YouTube, how to support us. You could become a YouTube member, I think it was called. Yep. Paid subs on YouTube. Or you can become a Crown Club member. That is our preferred way, and we think the better way to support ESChamp. Check out our Patreon by typing in !join. You can get some cool perks there. You even do get perks actually through the YouTube now. You get our same emotes that we had on Twitch, I believe. And you'll get access to ad-free VODs of the broadcasts. So definitely worth checking out and helping support ESChamp here.
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Game number 2. Load it up. Poor tier, no image.
Yeah, just get him a Thanos.
Tier. I don't think the voice works either.
No? Okay.
That's what I read in chat.
All right, fair enough. Down here, bottom left hand.
Oh, no, this
corner.
one does.
This one does? Okay,
Yeah, this one.
not his? Okay.
Yeah, just tier.
It's Jax's Kagamine.
I can't hear it.
Yeah, we can't hear anything. I've got no game sounds, nothing.
Yeah, nothing. I've had nice orchestral music the entire time, but it's not the game music.
Something. We'll take it. The StarCraft music's relatively orchestral, right? It's
Yeah,
a lot of that big orchestra type symphony songs. Anyway, here we go. Game number 2. We're on Everdream. So how familiar are you with the newest maps that were? Because I don't think these are the new. We're missing a couple of the newest maps because they were buggy.
Yeah.
So we're using an old version for. I'll have to look it up, but.
Yeah, something I noticed in the pool that we've had so far is, and it's one thing that again uniquely affects bots more than people, is site blockers on a lot of the maps. And the site blockers really do mess with unit AI, that they, again, like go through a site blocker and they just forget that something's on the other side.
Yeah.
And that could be, a big issue in having micro.
Okay, so we're wrong. There actually was an image there for tier. It was a DT portrait.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, we're getting some. Hopefully we don't crash here, everybody. Hang on to your seats here. Hang on to your armrests. Stream is going down. No, it should be. Hopefully it'll be okay here. So yeah, 2 base here. I would imagine a third out of Kagamine. I think we're going to see a very similar build. Usually we see pretty much the same opening out of Kagamine. Just get the 3 bases, get a good amount of queens, get lings as needed, and then into roaches or maybe something different. I'm betting roaches again though.
Yeah, I mean it's a good all-around thing to do. It's rarely super wrong to make roaches.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, especially if you don't really know what's going on the other side. You hear about the safety roach warren all the time now. It's, if you don't know, just get a roach warren.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not too bad. Their nice pick off of the drone as the probes transfer on down to the natural.
Yep. Is that base not done? Or wait. Oh, okay, it is done.
Yeah, it is.
Like, wait, what?
Yeah, you just didn't have vision of it. So
got it.
to Kagamine.
All right, yep, there's the 3rd base. All right, so we're going to see a couple more adepts come across. Same opening out of tier as well. Is going to get those 2 adepts and try to get into a mineral line here. And we'll see how much it can do this time. Last time, what did it get? 6? 4 workers?
6 last time.
Something like that?
Yeah.
A bunch of lings. It was like 12 lings that killed off. So a lot. Yeah, it got a lot of kills with these 2 adepts. So hopefully Kagamine can maybe clean these up.
We'll see what position he gets into this time around. 2 lanes did see them come across, so I don't know if that makes much of a difference to it, but they're engaging them in the form of stragglers there out front. 1 queen engaging will start to do hull damage to one of the adepts, but not enough to take it down before it shifts over.
Ooh, but 2 queens in the main this
queen's
time.
in good position.
Ooh,
Not really lanes here. Yeah, able to clean one up. And then the second, how many you get?
Much better.
Oh,
only
yeah,
2.
much
Oh, I
better.
thought I got 3, but yeah, only 2 and 10 wings. It's like those can die. Better than drones.
He even also got a drone across the map in his own base, so that may only have been 1.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I think you're totally right. I could have sworn I got a couple.
So
there,
I think, a world different as a start here.
that
And
helps.
again, if you look at that, like compared to the last game where you were saying, if we had roaches 30 seconds earlier, maybe it's different. Well, 5 workers difference is often like roaches 30 seconds earlier. Like it can make that sort of difference.
Yeah, for sure. All right, yep, Twilight counts again. It's looking like the same kind of thing here. We're going to do a little bit of Charge Archon, which, against Zerg, that's honestly been one of my favorite builds when I play. It's just so good. I really like the power behind it. It's just so good against any amount of lings, really, as long as your positioning is good. Even roaches, to an extent, it can do really, really well against. It's when you start getting into Hydras, that's when the Archon Charge lot starts to fall off. But just a Roach Warren so far, for now.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to have Hydras, at least with the upgrades, by the time that sort of like early one hits. And yeah, it's just violent. It's just break down your front door, like little finesse sort of attack. And it just works well.
Indeed. All right, Sentry getting some pokes off, and this little ball of death is just going to group up here, and we'll see it push out, 3 Archons last time, and a whole crap ton of Zealots, charge lots, so I think once we get about to that same mark, and there's the 3rd base going down, so Tyr does have the economy to fall back on, which is nice, should it fail.
Yeah, and Tyr even ahead in worker count as well. Now, its army count is a lot lower this time, so Kagamine has definitely made a lot more to deal with this, but has it made the right things to deal with it? Is going to be the question.
That is always the biggest question of StarCraft.
Yeah.
All right, well, I believe it's about to push out here. Come on, Tyr, do it. I'm ready. I want to see some action. But again, Kagamine has a much better army this time, as long as it stays home. I think, didn't it just kind of trickle? Right, it was a little bit outside of its big main base or something. It just, all the lings just got slaughtered without queen support. Nothing like that. There's a lot more lings this time, though.
Yeah, and they're over there at the 3rd base. If this army comes right down the middle and then they get blindsided from the side, then that could make a difference too in what the engagement looks like. And that's basically exactly what's going to happen here. It gets more of a surround on the Archons themselves this time, but that's not necessarily great. If they could get one just barely staying alive.
Oh, 2 of them pretty low, actually.
Yeah. The damage was just so spread out that it did a ton of damage, but it just hit every target.
Yeah, if Kagamine had just, again, skipped the 4th base and just gotten, roaches out or a little bit earlier, I think it'd be good. Because we got 8 roaches on the way. And actually, though, Kagamine's economy has not been hit just yet. Army supplies, down by 10. Those Archons are so low. If you could just get rid of the Archons. I'm sorry, she could just get rid of the Archons. Sorry, Kagamine. Forgot you with 80.
That drone transfer over, just getting annihilated by the 3 Archons.
Yeah, and that'll do it. There's the slit of the jugular, and now Tyr just has to finish smashing the head in. And then Kagamine will be gone.
Yeah, just look at like how spread around the damage is on the Protoss units. That you've got about 7 Zealots in our field of vision that have no shields and have half hull damage, but are alive.
Yeah. If an Archon's alive, it doesn't matter how little shields it's got. It is just a deadly threat. I mean, look at that. That one's got no shields almost, but it's probably got 20 kills or something.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Oof. All right. Well, Tyr is looking strong again this season, as it always does. Definitely a very, very good first round of games here, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of our strong bots going against each other.
Yeah, exactly. This top part of the bracket is quite heavy.
It's a little stacked.
A little stacked. So wouldn't be surprised to see the winner ultimately come out of this top left quadrant of our bracket. But there's a lot of good ones sprinkled in though.
He saved. Can we get a look at that Archon with like no health? It's got one. I've almost never seen a 1 health Archon. Maybe like it's like seeing what's it like an eclipse from like one of those really rare eclipses or whatever. Anyway, that Archon's a badass. How many kills has he got? 36. Woo!
Yeah, 36, 1 hit point.
1 hit point. Yeah, if they're alive, they are a problem for Zerg, for sure. All right, well, this is... Are we fast-forwarding yet?
Probably should.
We probably should. The main base is gone. The natural's gone. We've got just the third base for Kagamine and a very minuscule army of roaches that are doing their best. This initial wave, just like last game, still has not been cleaned up. And that Roach Warren will eventually bleed out as well if Kagamine doesn't do anything about it. But yeah, this next push with the Colossus, this is a really strong build out of tier. I could see this doing well even against Terran, honestly. You know, usually you don't want to do Archons against like Ghosts, that kind of thing. But this hits early enough that you're just going to have a lot of Zealots, and Archons are just so scary early game that this is just going to be a good build, I think, throughout the season.
Yeah, I think so as well. And the fact that it backs up, like the first wave, even if it fails, and then you back up into this Colossus-based army. Also, like one thing that we see in there too is that the Archons will actually pull back, so they don't just go suicide and die.
Yeah,
they will actually pull back and rejoin. So, yeah, it's helpful.
Hey, shout out to Jason in the chat. What's up, buddy? Haven't seen you in forever. If it's the Jason that I'm thinking of, anyway. All right, we got a replay. Let's take a look at it. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, we have this awesome new feature now this season. We are going to be taking nice little replays here to take a look at, you know, cool things that happen during the game. This is us mostly just testing it to make sure it works at this point. But, yeah, we're going to see some awesome stuff as this season progresses. So it's going to be cool to have this feature.
So, yeah, watching this again, yeah, you can see that only 1 drone did die at that point. So,
yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're going to go to a quick little break here in just a moment. We've got 2 more best of 3s coming up after our break. So definitely stay tuned. Get your friends in here because, yes, ProBots is freaking cool. It is awesome stuff. We've got, who do we have coming up after the break? I lost my sheet here.
We got Ketroc and ANIbot, I want to say.
I closed my sheet.
Or ANIbot, I mean.
ANIbot.
Awesome. And then Spiny versus Spudde.
Awesome. So, yeah, before we do that, again, make sure you type in !join to become a Crown Club member. You can also type in !community to check out our forum and stay up to date with all the stuff we're doing here on ProBots. All right, let's do a member shout out real quick. Big shout out to all of you Crown Club members, but we're gonna take a look at one in particular here and thank them. Conrad Gold, thank you so much for being a Crown Club member. All righty. Good stuff. Anything you want to say before we go to a quick break there?
Just stick around and these next ones will be interesting. I have not seen the Ketroc bot yet, so...
Neither have I.
If it's anything like Ketroc, then you don't want to miss it. So
absolutely.
Come on back.
We'll see you after the break, everybody. Stay tuned. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay.
Thank you for waiting. I am Andy Man.
I'm still Undersword.
Yeah. And we are back with 2 more best of 3s here for you. Thank you for joining us here again, our opening night of ProBot Season 2 of 2020. Big shout out to all the bots that qualified. Again, there was a big list of 50 bots plus bots that were competing. And then the top 16 of the AIarena.net ladder qualified for ProBots here. So definitely go check that out if you are an aspiring bot maker. There's some really cool Discords as well to help you along the way if you want to get competitive with this kind of thing. And a lot of really helpful people as well that a lot of them are hanging out in chat here. It's good to see you all.
That's most of our fans, just the people that make these things. But
we get a few others as well that just like watching. You know,
of course, really good people.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, what else we got? Before we dive into the games, again, make sure you type in !community to check out our forum. You can stay up to date with everything going on here at ESChamp. You can also type in !join to become a Crown Club member. It's the best way to support ESChamp and future seasons of ProBots, as well as other content. We've been doing some cool learning content on YouTube, which we're here now, so you can check out our other YouTube videos that we have up on our page there. Definitely give a little look through, see if there's anything that tickles your fancy there. But you'll get some cool perks like members-only room, Discord access, and stuff like that. And yeah, I think we're about ready here. So you're excited, as I think we all are, for this next matchup. We've got Ketroc versus ANIbot. ANIbot returning, Ketroc, first season here. What are you thinking is gonna kind of go down here?
So again, being familiar with just Ketroc as a person, I'm expecting things like ravens or like floating in a planetary fortress into your main. Like I'm just expecting non-standard stuff.
So that build actually works, and it's even against Zerg. I used to do this in like Wings of Liberty or whatever. You go and build your command center, build an engineering bay back at home. The command center's proxied, and you just float it and lift it in, make a planetary next to the creep. I was like, what are they going to do about it? Nothing. All right. I think we're ready. Production, if you're ready, we're ready. Let's go ahead and dive into our next best of 3 here on ProBots. Take it away.
Start now.
Ketroc. Surveillance's ANIbot.
Something. There you
That's
go.
almost like it was like scripted or something. That's hilarious.
I do love
The
that
interaction already between these two.
We've already picked up a lot here. They also announced their update dates, and ANIbot has been updated exactly 1 day later than Ketroc bot has. So I think that gives it an advantage.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. We don't have any information on ANIbot other than what we have seen in previous seasons. I think last season was actually ANIbot's first season, right? If I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong.
I know that I've seen it before, so I think it's at least 2.
Okay, at least 2 or 3 seasons in. Then, But we do have some info on Ketroc's bot. So apparently Ketroc's bot likes to win with Mass Banshee. It'll make use of repairing and will expand with planetary fortresses, which we haven't really seen a bot try to deal with planetaries. I think once or twice, but usually much later game, not like in the natural or something. So if Ketroc's only expanding with planetaries, this is going to get interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Another neat thing to note about Ketroc's bot, its logo is the 3-eyed raven, which makes it the only bot or human that still likes Game of Thrones.
Yeah. I've never actually watched that, and now now with that, it's just like, why even bother with everything I've heard about it? It's like, ugh.
So I noticed ANIbot as well. Like there's mineral patches at the bottom or the top of the second ramp there. It mined them out right away. So it, for whatever reason, prioritized getting rid of that.
I do remember in previous seasons, ANIbot having the most personality out of all the bots. And we're seeing it here again. The poor little SCV just trying to do its job and scout, not hurting anything. Just leave it alone. Leave the SCV alone.
Indeed.
All right, so we've got what is that? More barracks coming down. So yeah, we're gonna see maybe some marine play here out of Ketroc or ANIbot. I mean, I'm sorry.
I mean, it did say ANIbot did say marine drops. So we'll see if it's lying about that or not. But
I like to think it's telling the truth. ANIbot is a very wholesome bot.
Yeah,
let's see what happens. Ooh, taking a little page out of Three-Way Lovers book here. ANIbot is going to take its second base in the third base location. How do you feel about that?
Strategy.
Yes.
I like it.
It's worked out. It's worked out really well before, especially on a map like this. If you don't push up on the right hand side, you're just not going to see that.
Yeah, it's such a subtle change, but like a lot of the bots are just based on when they attack, they just attack right down the middle.
Yep.
And if your base isn't there, then that makes it a lot easier.
Indeed.
Yeah, and we've even seen where that's actually pulled off things like reinforcements, where the initial attack comes right down the middle. Reinforcements were meant to join them, but they end up getting distracted after the discovery of that base, and they split off and do something else.
Yeah. Well, I really want to see if these marine drops can just negate the planetary completely, because if you just stand behind the mineral line, planetary is not going to do anything for you. So I'm curious where these are going to land. We obviously just see the orbital here in the main for mules and scans. That's a very smart addition here to at least have one orbital just in case, Cloak Banshee or something like that comes in. But
yeah, he did salvage the bunker in front of his planetary at the natural as well.
Okay.
So running a tight ship here.
With their wills, I smell energy areas. Oh, okay. So he's got whiff of the medevacs. So he should know something is coming. Yep, and there we go. Turrets coming down. So that could be really nice, at least to zone out the medevacs. Yeah, one going down here in the kind of the outside of the main. This is some really good play so far out of both these bots. This is hopefully going to get into the late game with 3 bases already. For both
we'll see if this can adapt.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. 2 base for Annie.
Yeah. But just in the 3rd base,
Yeah.
See if where does this go? Is it going to run into turrets? Is it going to be able to adapt? Oh, dropping here on the low ground and going after this supply depot is unanticipated. Well,
I think that's just
this
because
whole
of the
thing is
placement,
now
right?
very unanticipated.
Well, that was just because of the placement of the depot, right? If that hadn't been there, then ANIbot would have continued going in to find another. Why did it pull back? That is what I'm curious about.
Yeah, not sure what happened there. Whether being on the cliff confused it, or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Either way, maybe it was only doing marine drops to keep its word, but it felt like it was obligated to. But it thought it was a bad idea.
Yeah, nice note in the chat there. Take a look at the APM here, about 10 times higher on average for ANIbot. In the end, that doesn't matter. I would like to get a little thing if we could somehow track average APM for each bot. I'd be curious to see which ones, kind of spam more, which ones do better with more APM. Maybe it could be an interesting statistic to see.
Yeah, you get things like this with the Marines here, where that is not what we call effective APM.
Yeah, that's just spam.
But that is APM.
It counts. All right, tanks out now. So I'm curious how this is going to work out. Vikings out now too. So if Ketroc does go into the Banshee play, like it says in the notes here, Viking could just shut that down right away. I haven't seen any Banshees yet, though. Have you? I see Vikings.
I have not. There's some building.
Oh, there's one.
As you mentioned it, yeah.
There it is. Okay. Well, I like that. ANIbot's going to at least have Vikings. It has a 3rd base on the way now. Ketroc's been saturated for a bit longer now.
Yeah, I think it was actually distracted in a sense. When we saw that message earlier that it had detected enemy air units, it started to build a lot of Vikings. And it's got like 6 or 7 of them over there by the 3rd base. I think that delayed the rest of the building, unless that's just normally part of the plan.
Yeah.
But I think it was a response too.
That's a smart response.
Yeah.
Be able to shoot the medvacs, to be able to keep air control for the Banshees potentially. There's definitely a lot of benefit to it in TVT to have that air control. Ooh, what do we got going on? A lot of Vikings getting selected there for somebody in the. There is a Raven out now as well, so I can only assume that's Ketroc's.
Yes.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah,
There's the
so
nice little Viking hit squad.
Controlling the middle, waiting for a drop that is no longer going to come.
And a 4th base now, so Ketroc's going to continue this and definitely go for the later game, kind of playing the Turtle Terran style a little bit with the planetaries and that, right?
Yeah, it definitely is. The army supply is way down, and a lot of the army is in these Vikings. Yeah.
Okay, are these two just real? Do these bots gain sentience?
This is just
pretty
literally
sure this is what happens.
This just is Ketroc playing. That's why he left the chat a while ago.
It's tricking us all. There we go. The Marines are going to try to engage us, getting a little choked up in the minerals here, but they're just taking free shots right now. Ketroc needs to go home, like all the way home right now. Ooh, almost loses one. Get out of there. Yeah, no sense sticking around just to see the Marines.
Yeah.
Yeah,
these are not scouting Vikings.
Well, they think they are.
They think they, yeah.
They want to be.
Again.
All right, he's going to be able to pull him back. The control is still very good. He's taking a lot of free little pot shots here, but he hasn't lost one yet. And once they get below a certain amount, they do pull all the way back home.
Here come a bunch of Banshees. They didn't come one at a time. They just jumped all in at the same time. And they will be able to clean some of this up. But nice scan. Just a little too late with only about 3 Marines left when it happened. But now Vikings of his own as ANIbot pokes on in.
Ketroc bot, we should nickname it the last word bot.
Yeah.
Got to get that last word. No, it's really cool. I'm loving this banter between the two. And yeah, he's making a good point. It doesn't matter, if you can't kill all the Banshee, or all the Vikings, he's just going to make more and kill more of yours. So
yeah, exactly.
This is very even so far, though. Both bots still expanding, still getting more income. Big armies for both of them, too. I think Andy's got a little of an advantage. What do you think?
Yeah, if you get the right fight, but this is all Marauder and tank, so they're pretty ineffective against the Banshee.
Yeah, I guess there's really no anti-air. Oh, geez.
Yeah,
except for the Vikings.
If this kind of moved across the map, but it's not going to. But if it was to take the advantage, they could just kind of pass each other, and this would get a lot of damage done. Now that there's a lot of Vikings out by ANIbot, though, this could help and drive this whole thing back. That's a lot of Vikings.
Is a lot of Vikings. The scan does not deplete. Oh, he gets 3 of them before the scan fades out. There is still a few more, though, with a decent amount of energy should they decide to push back in. They're sticking with the main army, though, so they're not... Oh, but here we go. The ANIbot's pulling him back in. Oh, he's got to get... Oh, nice pullback, actually. I didn't think he had another scan available. Oh, my goodness. This is so tense right now.
Yeah. The Banshee's not really recognizing. They're in scan territory. Nice Cheeto cannon, but nothing doing there. There's nothing got firepower on it. The turret going up here is going to make a huge difference. If that gets established, then that's auto detection, although there's only even 1 Banshee left right now.
But it'll still help in the Viking versus Viking battle, which still actually is going in ANIbot's favor. Somehow, just the fights in general, ANIbot has just produced way more Vikings and has double the army supply right now of Ketroc.
Yeah.
Even though those Banshees were kind of wrecking face a little bit for a minute there.
Yeah, definitely. They had the ability at one point to push through, but a lot of Vikings really did join. The Marines underneath this, not doing insignificant help either, as they kind of draw some of the fire and push things back.
Yeah, before the Banshees were numerous, they were definitely a lot more helpful.
There you go. There, the turret coming into play, and will totally reveal these without the need for a scan.
Ooh, and now that the Banshees are dead, the Marines have become a lot more significant. Again, just free damage on the Vikings, essentially, with no threat to themselves. Raven with full energy. I'd like to see a little more auto turret or something. It was a really good anti-armor missile there. Unfortunately, did not get a lot of kills while those Vikings were anti-armored, though. Just too many Vikings for ANIbot. ANIbot is just dominating the skies right now.
Yeah, really good control for both of them with the Vikings, pulling back as things are damaged and so on, but just the numerical advantage for ANIbot, at least for a bit. Here come a lot more by Ketroc.
I think these two styles are very well suited for each other. Neither one seems to be doing any, sneaky special tactics or anything like that. They're just butting their heads against each other, and it's beautiful to watch. Because Ketroc's getting their superiority again, somehow. Yeah. Where'd all the Vikings go?
Yeah, they just kind of got picked off there, and it looks like it diverted attention to other things, into these Liberators as well. But also, this is like, okay, the Thors are going to help.
Oh, yeah. I think with Thors, well, and what's the answer for the Marauders once this pushes across the map?
Yeah.
Other than a couple Banshees.
Yeah, if these get to the other side, that's the game. But this is holding them back, at least for the time being.
So perhaps Ketroc being a little bit too aggressive, but in a sense he has to be. He's picking off these Liberators. He's getting all these kills to maintain air superiority, so he kind of has to be aggressive, even though he is kind of taking some heavy losses for it.
He's Thor actually looks really cool like that.
Yeah. Yeah. That is sweet color. That'd be a cool skin.
And Banshee's actually taking out the Thor.
This air control for Ketroc might actually save him the game.
In the last about 40 seconds, we saw the army
Yeah.
supply go from 6120 to 9898.
Oh, and just look at the chaos now. The Banshees, it's like a shooting gallery. The Marauders all just going single file. They finally reached the Planetary, but the Planetary is going to be able to start shelling away at them as well. Tanks get in range. This is just absolute massacre right now on both sides almost.
Yeah, now they can just totally jump on this position, but they're being a little tentative to do so.
Oh, there's something hitting the base a little bit further south as well. Maybe just like a Marine or something. Oh, he's going to get the Planetary.
Planetary will...
Oh, Ketroc's repairing, but only with a couple SCVs. It's not enough. What is going on, Endersword? This is just...
Yeah, it's very swingy, but I don't know how to stop the Banshees at this point. Without a really, really strong, clever effort, I don't think it can. It's not getting back air superiority. If it was able to get enough Thors underneath it, then maybe. But it would have to like really know to do that.
Well, and just look at how many bases Ketroc is taking as well. This is really where Ketroc's bot's going to start doing well, it seems, is the late game. When armies start trading, he's still expanding, taking all the resources. He's going to be able to trade a lot more efficiently in the longer game with that. ANIbot just kind of stopped about 4 bases.
Yeah, upgrades are going to be a big factor here too, as we got +2/+2 for Ketrocs.
Oof, yeah. I don't see any way of ANIbot getting air control again. With that air control, you don't stop the Banshees.
Exactly. I think that's even +3/+3 finishing.
For the Vikings?
For Ketroc's side.
Yeah.
And yeah, these are just a bulldozer at this point.
Oh yeah, man, Sky Terror. It was looking so good for ANIbot too, and then yeah, like you said, just in that minute span, Ketroc just cranked out the biggest force of Vikings and was able to take total air dominance here.
Yeah, 3 Thors is nothing to shake a stick at, but if they're in here without detection, then they are.
Yeah, you can shake any stick you want at it.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think Ketroc's got this. ANIbot's still producing, still fighting, but
yeah, it's hard to see a turnaround here. If this was able to stay within detection range, then I think the 3 Thors could have held, because look at the spread out damage here, but they walked down the ramp out of the range of anything and took a lot of, died.
Yeah.
So
I love how Ketroc's taken every other base, even the ones on the ANIbot side.
Yeah.
That's smart. Well, once you get to a certain point in the game, it's like you've got all these extra minerals. I mean, look at his bank right now. You might as well. So
Exactly.
it's really smart play. And yeah, there goes the base for ANIbot. It looks like Ketroc has finally broken the back of our blue Terran here, but what a game. This was incredible. Very back and forth. Just an absolute slugfest between these two.
yeah, it had a lot of phases to it throughout this. Like the air superiority switched like 3 or 4 times in this game as the tech switch.
Bada boom. All right, well, yep, this is going to be the last of it. There's just no answer to the air. Every Viking that pops out for ANIbot just gets gunned down.
Yeah.
Medevac's now falling, and yeah, there's just going to be nothing left here in a moment. So we are going to speed up a little bit.
Slow death, but it will be a death.
It will be a death. Thors keep coming out, and they're presenting a little bit of a problem here, but eventually Ketroc's just going to chip through. Really wants to go up the middle, doesn't want to try to sneak behind a base or anything like that. That'd be kind of cool to see, have it just go to the side of the map and then up and then into the main or something. Maybe not on this map. This map doesn't have as much open airspace, but
yeah, there's not a lot of room behind there. You could see on a map like this, again, we mentioned taking the 3rd base first, how something like this is what we talked about, that it always wants to go off the middle. So that base has been mining unimpeded for a while. So there is the GG. I don't know if it actually hits the surrender button.
BMGG. No, I'm just kidding.
But I'm willing to accept the GG.
Yeah, I'll take it. ANIbot's a sweetheart. Always, always very polite and well mannered here. One of the bots I thought had that option, where actually GG's out, right?
Yeah, some of them. Some of them actually would detect it, and some of them would do it if all their command centers or hatcheries or whatever are gone.
Yeah,
they would just tap out at that point. But I know some of them actually had it and removed it because once you set in a different win condition, then someone can target that win condition.
Makes
instead
sense.
of
Premature GG. Yeah. Okay.
So
Alright.
yeah, so there's
Makes
always
sense.
a pro and con to that, the politeness versus the effectiveness. Because we've seen instances in the past too where bots do something and then fail to do the rest. Like we've seen Reapers that target the main command center and then just get stuck there. Like they had no ulterior motives, and they would just rally to that point and dance around and just ultimately never finish the game. So if you surrendered that game, I think we did, I want to say 2 seasons ago, saw a bot. There was actually a base race and one of them surrendered.
Oh, I remember. Yeah,
Do you remember?
it could have been a win for them, and they and they surrendered.
They
I remember. I
surrendered when
forget who
their
it was,
hatchery
but
died. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember. So yeah, no, that's a very good point as to why you shouldn't necessarily put in a GG condition unless you're for certain that the game is over. But sometimes it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
All right, well, that was an awesome game number 1. Do we have a clip? Do we have a replay from that? Because that was some brutality there.
Just the whole game.
Just the whole game. Yeah, just clip
Yeah,
the whole game.
Just
That's right.
replay the whole thing. All
Good.
right.
Let's see it. I want to see it. DJ, play that back.
No,
Oh, we
not
don't have it?
exactly.
Okay,
He
we'll go to
means the
game
next
2.
game. He means the next
Fine,
game.
fine. Go to game 2. Whatever.
Ketroc. Surveillance's ANIbot.
What does that mean? Wait, what is going on right now?
I don't know. So it's doing.
What is happening?
This is interesting. So I commented last game that it went down to clear out the 2 weird mineral patches.
Uh-huh.
But it's now doing that at these really far ones. So is it doing this because it's crazy, or is it intentionally opening a path for something?
Well, if you needed to open the path, you would only need 2 SCVs. Technically, this seems like an overcommitment of SCV resources to do this. Interesting.
So yeah, I don't know. It almost seems. Is there any chance that it was intended to do it on one map and wasn't really intended to do it on this one?
Oh,
But it
geez.
did?
Yeah, this does not seem intentional at this point.
It's a big loss of mining time. So unless it has a really strong goal, I don't know what's happening.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I will say I really like that these 2 bots had their update. Last updated date. That's kind of a cool little thing to see just at the beginning. Okay. Has it gotten a little revamp? Maybe gotten a new strategy since last week, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and we'll see that, as you mentioned earlier, they are allowed to update during the tournament. And particularly now that we're in a bracketed system throughout the whole way, we could see a lot of intentional sniping to each other's strategies.
Oh, for sure. Yep. Every week, these bot authors are allowed to update, so they can definitely prepare a little bit for their matches. Well, and I see that as, it's all just like real life. You know who you're going to play in a big tournament. You're going to prepare against that person, or whether it be GSL or anything,
Yeah.
Doesn't mean your preparation will work.
No. And very, you can tell the players that don't. Very often at a tournament, like where you just have kind of an open bracket, 3 minutes before a match, the player will walk around asking other players, like,
"Hey, what does this guy do?"
Yeah, they're like, "What does Trap do again?"
What should I do against him? Yeah. Well, what would you do against this Ketroc bot to defeat the Air Force?
So my initial thought is kind of what I was saying last game. If you made a hard switch into Thor, very often the bots are not super good, weirdly with air, at spreading out. Mm-hmm. So you could take a lot of the Thor shots, and it was simply a matter of getting detection there with it. Yeah.
Now, what do you
Good.
think about ANIbot's greed play here? We can see going to 3 bases. Is this a response to how passive? Not passive Ketroc was, but there wasn't a ton of early game pressure out of him.
Yeah, I think it definitely could have taken a more economic tact, because ANIbot essentially had a whole armored tank division that was never part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, it just kind of died to the bases.
Yeah, if resources were reallocated from that into economy, then you could support a larger economy either for Thors or Vikings later on. Then that would be good. The thing that throws it off is, of course, that weird minute of super long distance mining that is going to negate a lot of this greed strategy.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the tanks did help out, though. It did kill off that planetary eventually. But yeah, it was a big commitment of resources for that one payoff. Yeah, I think was all they really did. So yeah, I'd like to see it into a little bit more air here. And yep, there's the star port out of Ketroc coming down 2 bases at the same time as well. So Ketroc's going to be going up to that 3rd base, but ANIbot's a little bit ahead in that regard, right?
Yeah, and he gets the deny there as well on the SCV, and some SCVs coming out of the finish. Okay, if the Reaper sticks, if the Reaper sticks with us, then he could. Okay, didn't. I was going to say he could delay that a long time.
Oh, but this other SCV might push the Reaper back to the command center.
No.
No. Maybe.
It'd be interesting if that supply depot going up actually kept them there, because he wanted to go into the main.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Oh, that SCV finally pulled it in. Oh, but is it going to finish? It finishes just in time. Whew. That was a close one. This Reaper, though, is getting some work done. What's it up to? 6 kills now? 7?
It's a fair bit. Also gets the cancel on the gas there.
Again, yeah.
So, yeah, if he had denied the CC, that this would be a world of damage. Even with it done, as these SCVs are individually transferring over to occupy the base, that's going to, again, result in more kills and no reaction yet to try and deal with it.
Yeah, it's almost like Ketroc's bot just doesn't quite recognize that this Reaper's just, it's just getting free kills here. Yeah, this is the perfect spot for the Reaper. Jeez.
You can even see from like the way that it's rallied, it wants to go somewhere else.
Oh, well, that was interesting.
Like it wants to go into the main. It just keeps refinding targets, and it doesn't.
How funny would it have been if that mine had put it up into the main? Yeah. A couple Marines joining in here. And now this is really going to start to be problematic because Ketroc seems stuck a little bit. Oh, ANIbot, where are you going?
No. Retreating.
He's playing nice. So you're so nice, ANIbot. Ketroc does have Banshees coming out, so that actually would have cleaned up just those couple of Marines really easily. So honestly, that was probably the perfect timing to pull back, but
I didn't
have gotten a little bit more.
Didn't notice this double CC in the main thing. I don't know if that's intended to float down later, if it's just going to be like this, because it's mining the gas into the second CC.
Oh, huh. Well, and it's an orbital too, so I'm curious if he just wanted more scans, or if it is just like a little duplicate error, like, I need a CC up here in the main or something. Interesting. Because the ANIbot didn't see it. Yeah, it doesn't go for cloak or anything like that. We haven't seen. So scans not going to be necessary. Having mules is going to be nice, and will definitely help Ketroc recoup some of that lost SCV flavor there.
A little scouting Marine being taken down.
Rip.
And again, we see ANIbot with a pretty significant army lead early on. Also a worker lead, courtesy of that Reaper, killing a bunch.
For sure. Yeah, that Reaper has 11 kills. Yeah, still selected there. But we thought ANIbot was doing so well in the first part of the game, and then all of a sudden Ketroc just rolled over.
And here,
just out of nowhere.
Again, we've got 4 Banshees, a Raven following them. We got the rotor speed coming for the Banshees. If they could just
a lot
take
more
this
Marines.
Out. Turret is there, and it's only a few seconds away. Good scan.
Have our Viking pilots updated their will? I smell enemy areas. Hidden units detected. I'll always have more Vikings. So a little bit jumbled there on that. They were bantering too fast. They got ahead of each other. That's funny. But yeah, oh god, all the Marines just get slaughtered. Oh, but Ketroc fighting in the turret. Oh, he gets the turret, so now the Banshees, you know, that was a very good example of what we've talked about before. When do you just stand in the damage? And that was exactly when you wanted to sit in it. And, you know, he got the turret kill and was able to get a few more Marines there. The scan finally is going to push back for a second, but these are going to come right back in here. Oh, no, they're almost out of energy.
Yeah, they will eventually decloak, but there's not a lot of Marines on the ground, obviously, and just really this one Viking sitting there. Can he pick off the last? Not really. The Raven is super cautious too. It's going to be hard for the Ravens to go down. They're not going forward or being aggressive.
Well, and this is so good too. I love how Ketroc pulls the Banshees back once they're too wounded. We see that out of MicroMachine as well, actually, where they get wounded, go back, repair, then come back into the battle. And if you don't kill the Banshee off, you just waste. How many Marines did he waste trying to kill those Banshees? And he didn't even kill one, or he killed one of them, maybe two.
Yeah, exactly.
Brutal stuff. Marines are pushing this back. Finally, they're really trying their darndest here to push this away. Is it going to be enough though? Will it be enough?
Definitely needs a lot of reinforcements coming with it. Nice use there of the shutdown.
Ooh. Wait, where's the? Does ANIbot have a Raven?
Yeah, I guess he has to. I
didn't even see it.
I just saw the effect.
Yeah.
Wow. Here comes like a second strong wave of Banshees just behind this Viking wave.
And yeah, just not enough Marines there to deal with it. Vikings are going to retreat back and group up. ANIbot still has a significant army lead. It just needs to do something with it. If these tanks can get into place and start picking off bases, that is going to be ANIbot's best chance here. Because as it is, ANIbot's just going to start, kind of like we saw last game, just going to trade inefficiently, and Ketroc will eventually just take over. Yeah, as we can see, he's almost got air superiority right now. It's 3-3, 4-3 or something. There was the Raven. I saw a quick glimpse of it. There it is.
Yeah, and that will help. It's something that he didn't really have last time, and so the detection was not consistent.
Yeah, that could be honestly the tipping point here. That stops these Banshees from just wreaking havoc.
Yeah, it allows a push like this where you're actually moving over a space, whereas before it was only effective when you had a scan circle.
Yeah,
fighting.
Yeah, we could see ANIbot last game struggling to get those scans out to deal with this. So far it's going a little bit better for ANIbot this time around. It's still very even though, I think.
Yeah, another big change, if you look at the production tab, what might be coming out here is 2 battle cruisers with Yamato cannon. So that could certainly turn the tide of battle as well if every time they engage, those get some shots in.
That's a one-shot kill, baby.
Yeah.
Yamato cannon is going to wreck face. Yeah, I really like that addition out of ANIbot. I think we could see our first ace match here tonight.
Yeah.
Very potentially. We'll see. So far, it's still just very back and forth. Both armies just poking each other. Not taking huge losses on either side. Oh, there we go. Banshee's starting to go down a little bit. 2 go down. 3. Get 4. Oh, where'd the Raven go?
Kill him.
Oh, he lost. Did he lose the Raven, or did the Raven go home?
I think he lost the Raven. It was half damaged as well.
Kill your own stuff, buddy. Here we go. Viking that's trading out. It looks like ANIbot does have the air advantage. This is something that ANIbot didn't have last time she was moving across with all of these tanks and whatnot. Banshees are going to push it back just a little bit. These Vikings need to stay, I guess, ahead of the game. Here's the BC. This push
with the scan support. If he gets in range to get these tank siege up again, then starts putting damage on the economy, then that's going to be key. Banshees are right on top of the BCs.
Are they? Where are they at? They're like right on top.
Like literally, yeah. Like
literally
inside them. They're trying to duck. Nice teleport jump back.
Well, I just love how many shots they're going to be able to soak up too, and leave ANIbot's Vikings able to, keep fighting. But here we go. This is starting to look like it did last game, where all of a sudden Ketroc just takes air control. And even though ANIbot looks like he's going to get this base here, oh man, that SCV repair is huge. But I think it will eventually fall, unless the Banshees can save it. Oh, this is going to be close.
This may end it. The Vikings are there to distract a little bit, but a lot of damage going. Still a lot of repair on the backside of this.
It might be enough repair, actually. Yeah, here we go. The Banshee's going to be able to clean up the tanks. Ketroc saves the base this time, so this actually just turned out worse than last game, because last time ANIbot at least got the base.
And there we're now to a point where those battle cruisers are facing like a 2-shot destruction. It's going to come in, try and Yamato here.
Yeah, look at
Actually, that one's not, and just die because it's still on cooldown.
Oh, this is brutal. I was hopeful for ANIbot, but Ketroc is a survivor. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, it's just that pullback, trying not to let a lot die. It's keeping the Vikings alive better than it was keeping the Banshees alive.
Yeah.
Ketroc actually in chat again, not sure why the Banshees are staying in a scan circle, but that's how a lot of them are dying. But the Vikings not making similar mistakes.
Yeah. Oh, Battlecruiser still coming in. He's going to get a Yamato off and actually teleports away in the nick of time there. I thought it was... Did for sure. Wait, did it Yamato then instant? I thought the teleport had a little cooldown too. Can you Yamato and teleport at the same time?
Kind of. I mean, in quick
like
sequence.
you queue up, queue it up. Right?
I don't know. I don't know if you can queue it. Maybe you can.
It looked like it did. Like it shot like right after the Yamato shot. It was like zoop, and out of there.
Well, remember it's a bot.
I don't know. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just quicker than we will ever be. Anyway, Marines coming in. Actually, ANIbot getting a little bit more harassment, is pushing in on 2 fronts right now. Could potentially get something done. Worker and army supplies like dead even again. This is so hard to tell if ANIbot's actually... I just don't think ANIbot's actually pushing through.
Yeah, the army supplies are staying equal, but there's just not really anything that's going to break the Vikings.
It's much better play, though, out of ANIbot this game. I like how ANIbot's hitting multiple spots, trying to stop Ketroc from taking over the whole map again.
Yeah, if he had the battle cruisers and the few Thors that we saw in the previous game, that would make a gigantic difference, because they're really clumping up to go after these battle cruisers, and the Banshee numbers are actually a lot lower. It's really all Vikings.
Yeah, I think that could definitely help out, but no Thors anywhere. It looks like ANIbot just chooses one or the other, which is not going to be enough either way. Yeah, ANIbot's starting to dip in that army supply. Marines running in, trying to be heroes, but it is not looking good for ANIbot.
Yeah,
starting to not look good.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of falling apart. I think there are a lot of... not a lot, but I think there's multiple battle cruisers that are alive, but they're not coming together. They're just coming.
Yeah, they come in one at a time. Yeah.
And then they go back for a full repair, and it's just not effective.
Yeah. Oh well, ANIbot's keeping the pressure on. I gotta give props to her there. It's just non-stop aggression, keeps Ketroc at home, but then eventually, it just gets to that point where Ketroc just has too much and can steamroll over you.
Yeah, it's starting to get farther and farther out. It looks like the army actually kind of regrouping in the middle of the map there.
I'm impressed by the upgrades as well on both these bots. 3-3 on the way for ANIbots, both attacks. All the other attack upgrades done for both players pretty much. Or armor's done for ANIbot. But, we good? Did we freeze?
Yeah,
okay, we're good.
Mine's back. So here comes the attack on enemy soil this time around. Battle cruiser going down, starting to break through everything.
Yeah, I think we're just going to see the snowball effect that we saw last game, where these Banshees are just going to be too much. And yeah, his Banshee retention's been so good. You know, we've seen some picked off here or there, but there's just been non-stop Banshee harassment here.
Yeah, the tide completely swung when ANIbot's one Raven died.
Yeah.
That it was pushing him entirely across, but once it lost the ability to stop both Banshees and just keep moving, then that really changed the face of it.
Yeah, that was huge having that Raven out. I'm assuming it just didn't build another one then.
Yeah, I think it was just the one, and it just slowly took a shot, and it was done.
Definitely something you're going to want to replace against this many cloaked Banshees, and man, these Banshees have just been the MVPs of this show for sure, with their speed, with the non-stop just slaughter of Marines. Good stuff. Vikings still picking off BCs here. And yeah, I'm thinking this is, double army supply now for Ketroc. This is the snowball effect in full action now. And Ketroc should be able to clean up the rest of ANIbot, taking all the bases, and is going to take a 2-0. I was really hoping for that ace match.
Yeah.
It was really looking promising, too, this game.
Yeah, it was looking a lot closer than the first one. Like, it looked like he was finally going to break through. But nothing doing.
Nothing doing. All right, well, these are going to clean up, and we might have a cool little replay. We'll see if our production managed to get one. Test our replay action again here. But yeah, so this will be our end of our third best of 3 here. We do have one more best of 3 after this. As soon as Ketroc's done cleaning up here. ANIbot, again, both these bots are survivors, man. They just nonstop are able to produce and fight. But eventually, Ketroc will be able to finish off here. Yeah, it's 20, almost 25 army supply for ANIbot. But yeah, we got one more best of 3 coming up after this. It's going to be pretty good here. Who's coming up next?
We've got Spiny versus Spud.
Spiny versus Spud, one of our new bots. A lot of new bots. Again, big shout out to all the bot makers, but it's awesome to see new bots in here. So keep it coming. Keep more, keep making those bots. Keep trying to qualify. Don't be shy. We want to see your bots.
Exactly. And as you can see, like a variety of strategies always get showcased, and there's many ways to approach things and win. And very often it is kind of the novel ones that end up working. And something that we've seen consistently across multiple seasons is it's the persistent bots, like the ones that just don't quit and keep things alive and spiral out of control that eventually take over.
Have you ever seen a bank this big? I've never seen a bank, even out of a human player, but even out of a bot. I think that's our biggest bank we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Greedy boy Ketroc taking all the minerals. But GG, Ketroc's going to take it 2-0 over ANIbot. So 3 2-0s tonight. We'll take a look at that bracket. Actually, we could take a little look at the bracket right now before we go into our last best of 3 for the evening. Kind of refresh our memories here of what's going on. Again, this is a double elimination format. So all the bots that have lost tonight are going to be going into the lower bracket for a later date. So we're going to be seeing them go up against each other. So I'm assuming it'll be Snowbot versus Kagamine, and then ANIbot versus whoever loses in this next match or something.
Yeah, I don't know if we're flipping. Actually, it's mapped out on our other bracket that we've got.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, whatever. But
but good job, MicroMachine moving on. And then who else moved on? TyrP moving on there, and then Ketroc is our third bot to take a win tonight. All right, and whenever our production's ready, we're going to be hopping into our final game of the evening here again at Season 2 of ProBots here in 2020. Keep talking. All right, we've got a lot of cool stuff coming up this season. Again, 7 more weeks of this is going to be really cool.
Yeah, so, and unlike some of the previous seasons where we did groups, you're going to get to see every match. In previous ones, because we did a round robin and there were so many, we just picked and chose a few of them. Not a few, but a lot. But we're going to see the whole thing. Each match is going to matter throughout, because it will have a big factor on whether you move on or not.
Yep. Well, and I like that they get a couple chances there. The double elimination's a nice way to go about this, because you're going to, just because you see one bot get demolished even by another one, not saying anything on tonight's, obviously, but sometimes we see a bot just get absolutely steamrolled, but then in the next match, it'll, reverse that and then steamroll a different bot. So it really is dependent, on these matchups a lot of the time.
Yeah, exactly. Some strategies work great against
others
one and completely fail against the other, and whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are we ready? Let's do it.
Raspers, Spiny. Spud.
I like how the colors change on our
Yeah, it's
AirPods.
a default logo, but a different color.
different
We
colors.
should just make up logos for the ones that don't have it, like Spud's
A potato.
Spud's name and spelling. Yeah, it makes me actually think of a German potato.
You do that.
Spud Deutschland.
All right, so this should be good. A ZVT to finish things off here on Eternal Empire. So we haven't been we've been bad. We'll do better in the next weeks. But talking a little bit just about these bots in general, as to like what language they're programmed in. Kind of, they've all got a rival, it seems. For example, Spud's bot rival is Three-Way Lover. So if we see those two go up against each other, might be a nice little close match. But maybe Three-Way Lovers, favored or something like that. Whereas Spiny's bot rival is MicroMachine, which I think MicroMachine's probably a rival of a lot of bots.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
both these bots.
Number one on their ladder. Yeah, it's number one on their ladder. So everyone should hate it.
Oh yeah, everybody hates MicroMachine. Just kidding. But yeah, both these bots are programmed in Python as well. Again, we were talking about earlier. That seems to be the most common language. A little bit more user-friendly, maybe to somebody new who wants to get into it. I'm actually looking into maybe making a bot with my girlfriend. She needs to learn some coding languages. Kind of well, she knows some. She's got to refresh her memory and learn some new ones. But we're gonna potentially create a bot to do that. It's a great way. Yeah, great way to do a fun little project to learn something. So if you're interested, definitely look into the AI Arena Discord. You can check out their website at ai-arena.net.
Yep.
And go from there.
It is. I mean, it's great for that. Yeah, if you're looking to learn something for other purposes, it's fun to do it as part of a game.
Yeah.
But for the first time I really ever used Python was to cheat at Pokemon Go.
To travel long distances and go around the world and stuff?
Yeah, to hook it up to the Google Maps API and jump around the world.
I know, I can't. It's like, how did they not think people were going to instantly start doing that?
Yeah.
Maybe they knew and just didn't care.
They eventually caught it.
Oh yeah, they started banning it in mass. Yeah. Oh, anyway, Reaper doesn't make it up into the main. Spiny is going to be able to push that away. Now I'm trying to remember what Spiny does in general. Spiny, I know, has really good creep spread, if I recall correctly. But it does try to react a lot to what its opponent is doing. So we'll see kind of how that plays out. Spud, on the other hand, plays pretty passively early on, despite what we're seeing here from the Reaper. This is just normal, poke. That's not real aggression. But it tries to go for a big attack with bio and tanks, which actually Spiny's weaknesses include tanks. So that could give Spud a nice little advantage. And again, we haven't seen Spud play before, so this is all new territory here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it's getting the combat shields there first and moving up to more Marines, which could be indicative of a fairly early attack.
Oh, we got somebody else that hates MicroMachine. Ketroc apparently just got wrecked by MicroMachine. Hey, we've all been there.
Not me.
Not except for Endersword. Yeah, everybody but Endersword's been there.
Yeah, but only because I know. Well, if I played it now, it probably plays a little different. I would have to kind of relearn.
Yeah, no, it's definitely gotten a little bit crisper because I think I played it. It might have been last season, maybe last season or the season before, and I barely won. I had to fight for it. It was not easy.
Yeah, I got into like the battle cruiser type phase in doing it.
Yeah. It's rough, but anyway, so we've got a Spiny scouting around, very active with these lings. I love seeing the active bots. Put a ling on the mineralize, see if a base is coming down. See, you'll see drops coming out potentially. It's just really important to have that map vision, especially if you are a kind of reactive bot like Spiny is.
Yeah.
So it's very, very good. And yep, there's that creep spread starting to look good here, and just kind of doing its Zerg thing here. Oh, Burrow on the way.
Burrow.
Second time we've seen Burrow tonight. That's awesome. Now, what is that for, do you think?
Now, I hope, based on the placement of these lings, it's the Burrow of the lings.
Oh, yeah, and to slow down bases coming. Oh, that could be so annoying, especially if Spud doesn't know how to deal with that necessarily. Yeah. Some bots might not know how to deal with that. I know some do, but I think it's going to be for the Roach Warren's about to finish up, so we might see Gleo Reconstitution and maybe some Roach hit squads. I haven't seen Roach hit squad since like Heart of the Swarm, man. Yeah, I need it. I need it. So bring it back.
Let's see. As this finishes, do a bunch of lings Burrow. It's done there now, and Marines are moving across.
Well, we're gonna get a nice juicy overload there.
Okay, they're not going to move across. Just doing that.
Yep. Okay, he's just going to play a little bit safe here.
And yeah, there you go.
Ah, beautiful. He's going to burrow them all as well. So, yeah, he'll be able to see. And look at where they're positioned.
Yeah.
Up at the top of ramps in pushing paths that the Terran would take. So Spiny's going to be able to identify when Spud pushes out. That's so smart.
I think it'd be. I want to see a bot take more advantage of the idea of baneling burrows.
Yes.
Because it's the type of thing that humans have to be hyper vigilant on where it's going to be, but a bot would have no problem with that. Like
potentially,
yeah.
Unless it doesn't build a Raven.
Yeah. Well, I mean, on the baneling side, that you would never miss a detonation. Because you even see like pro level players, like an army march over a baneling, and you're like, detonate it.
Yeah, please.
But they weren't looking right there.
But yeah, I could see this, and that would be interesting to see too. You know, when is the optimal time? You know, do you wait for a certain supply? Do you wait for a certain unit? Because obviously against Marauders, it's not going to be as effective or something. So, interesting.
And you just burrow 8 of them.
Yeah, just burrow 8 of them. You're good.
It'll be fine. Yeah.
Is that a cheer?
It is.
Is that
Jason coming in with his heavy metal hand signal?
Hell yeah. Big shout out to Jason McDonald. Is that Old Man Toast?
Yes, it is.
Yes. I know. I see people, we're using YouTube now, so it's everyone's real names. And I'm like, who is this? Yeah. Oh, okay. So Spud does know how to deal with the burrowed lings. Very good. Very important as well against an opponent like Spiny. So Spud's just going to be able to continue its macro game here. And it's looking decent. You know, he's down a decent amount of workers, but playing defensively. He's got tanks up. Just needs to make sure it doesn't take a bad engagement, or it's just gonna roll out of control here. Because Spiny is looking very strong on the other side right now.
Yeah, very good economy. You weren't kidding about that creep spread. And just
there it is.
Control. The armies are about similar. Like if Spud could get over there with this army, it would do some damage. But getting over there in full vision on full creep is pretty difficult.
It's risky. Can be risky. What is Spiny's army? Yeah, Spiny has got a lot of Ravagers. That's going to be really good against the tanks, which is, we'll see how the engagement, I guess, plays out. But in the notes there, it says Spiny doesn't do so well against tanks. So it's interesting to see a counter for tanks, but then, maybe think it's not going to do so well. So, yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see, I guess, how the engagement goes. Just as it can be difficult. Doesn't say that it's,
impossible.
Yeah, impossible. It's just going to be difficult. Okay. Yeah. I love the animation of the changelings dying, freaking out. It's like melting in the sun. Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right. Well, yeah, Spiny definitely the more macro-oriented player. Seems already up to 5. Ooh, actually even taking a 6th base right now. Are Spud's content just to kind of sit back on 3, build up a very strong army, and maybe push across. And here we go. Spud's going to start moving out a little bit. I love the Raven edition. It's going to save scans, so he doesn't have to scan for those burrowed lings.
Like about 30 Marines there, just the stim to kill that Zerg.
Zerg! Kill it! Freak out. Here we go. Now he's got some nice little hit squads, though. He's actually got a little hit squad on the right. He's going to be able to clear out creep or more lings. Yeah, there we go. He recognizes there's a ling block in the CC, maybe, or just figured he should check. I wonder if it actually knows, though, because you can kind of see where something's burrowed or moving when it's burrowed. So I'm curious if you
I know
can see
that they've explained before. I assume it applies very similar to burrow. I'll say after this engagement. Big ramp spot, really good spot for those fire drops.
Oh no! Again,
that's totally. Yeah.
2 rounds of them wasted. Yeah. First round just all hit in one spot, didn't really kill much. Second round got behind the army there, and now the tanks are going to be able to push up because those biles should have been meant for the tanks for sure.
Yeah, a little bit of a missed opportunity there as it gets on creep and is able to clear a lot of this up. Ling's coming in a pretty disadvantageous position.
Ooh,
but infestors, there we go. Nice fungal, but there's a lot of medevac with this.
Ooh, look at those fungals. Oh, man. He's going to lose an infestor or 2 there, but what a good set of fungals there. Yeah, that was huge.
Hydra's now there to support a little bit in greater numbers. Those are going to be excellent.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely going to need a little bit more. He's hurting in the army supply a little bit, down by about 10 here. but Spiny still has a lot of time to react here. You know, Spud is just now getting to like the fifth or sixth base. So if this base goes down, it's not a big deal. Just needs to make sure that Spiny doesn't lose too much while trying to defend it. That's going to be the big deal.
Yeah, it's a matter a little bit, though, of what is Spiny making right now. And he's making more infestors, that's okay. Making a couple of Vipers, going up to a greater Spire, and not much in terms of stuff to deal with this.
I'd like to see Mass Viper Hydra. I think that would be really, really good against this.
Broodlord is...
Or Broodlords, yeah.
Yeah, a Broodlord is coming. Two of them
is
now.
one? Oh.
Yeah. So...
We'll see how it does. Well, with the Fungals, it could be really good.
Yeah.
Oh, man, these Fungals are dirty. So many.
Also,
He's
because
losing
of...
them all, though.
Because of Broodlord logic, and the way that AIs may think, the tanks may not hold their fire when the broodlings hit the front line. Not that there's much of the front line anymore, but yeah.
No, I see what you're saying though. That could definitely be kind of where it tips around. Here come the Broodlords. Let's see if your prediction comes true. You know, there is a Viking that's going to get shelled away. Yeah, these tanks are just going to start shooting their own troops here, I think. And there's not a lot of anti-air. There is one Viking, but it gets parasitic bombed, so it will go down. The Marines try to dive on top of the Broodlords a little bit, but so far...
Three more Broodlords on the way. If this gets up to like 6 to 8 Broodlords, then I don't know how they're going to make any progress.
Thought we were going to a replay or something.
Yeah.
It's like, not now! But here we go, there we go. All but the one Viking of anti-air is gone here. And two Broodlords, even though they are anti-armor missiled, are now going to be able to start breaking down the siege line, but the base falls before Spiny can break it. That is...
Yeah, and the army supply is still in Spud's favor. The economies are very equal.
Yeah, no, Spiny's expanding to the north here. So definitely not out of it, even though Spiny has lost 2 bases to this point. Still is up on 5, almost to be 5 here. So this is definitely not over for Spiny, and it looks like Spud's actually starting to get pushed back a little bit here. You know, he's got more army
rid of the tank line.
Yeah, the tank line's gone.
And even just this couple of corruptors out has been pretty big.
Oh, once the medevacs fall, yeah, this bio's just going to melt once those medevacs are gone. The only reason they've been able to stand and fight is because of those medevacs.
Yeah. Yeah, Birdlings do not do a ton of damage aside from the initial.
Well, if you get enough of them, they do.
Yeah.
Well, Marines are still pushing. A couple medevacs are still here healing. One of the Broodlords is really, really low, but it's just slowly getting mobile back. As the tanks come, actually, they're going to help Spiny kill off this bio. Good fungal again. Yeah, the fungal. I think the fungals were the biggest changer in this, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, they're the only thing that held back that initial push. That would have just been death right there if there weren't like 6 good fungals.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and the Broodlords is an amazing follow-up to it, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say the fungals were the MVP here.
Yeah, they bought the time, and they're still putting in work.
Well, it's kind of hard to call. Army supply is still very even between these two. Worker count even pretty close there, so this is going to be a war of attrition, it looks like. Just a non-stop fight in the middle of the map here. Spud still streaming units across, still fighting. Upgrades are looking good. 2-2 about to finish up for that bio, +2 attack for the tanks just starting. Oh, but a lot of upgrades finishing up here for the Zerg. It looks like +3 melee about to finish up, and +3 armor is on the way. So the upgrade's a little bit in Spiny's favor here.
Yeah, and that's going to make these ground units a lot more effective. And you mentioned a war of attrition, and I think Spud is hitting that attrition point where the main and natural are really not effective in terms of incoming.
Yeah, he's just starting to run out of money. He needs to get more bases, but there is nowhere safe to take a base. Maybe the very bottom right, but it doesn't seem like Spud's that type of a macro where it's going to take hidden bases. Just wants to push out nice and slow and steady, secure the bases, even has a planetary there, so it is going to buy a lot of time here, potentially at this 4th base, but eventually the Broodlord should be able to whittle through it. And yeah, I think Spud's just going to run out of money, run out of army. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's it. You can see the oversaturation at the planetary fortress there. I think a lot of the workers moved down, so he's not getting
Oh yeah,
that
totally.
full force. And yeah, he's just going to get stuck at the ramp here. Now that things like Hydras have joined in, just adding a lot of DPS to this. Yeah,
You called it. He needed
has-
Hydras.
yeah, exactly. I mean, he needed everything ultimately that he made, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Phenomenal game one between these two, however.
yeah.
But it does look like Spiny has finally broken the back. Yeah, army supply heavily in Spiny's favor, and no real answer to the Broodlords. The Lings, the Hydras, the Fungals are just going to be able to buy an infinite amount of time for them to whittle through here. And man, look at that creep spread. Yeah, that's one thing I really like about Spiny is just the non-stop creep spread. Even taking over the creep where Spud managed to push a nice path through it and kill a lot of tumors, but Spiny just replaces it so quickly that it almost doesn't matter.
Yeah, and you can see the effect here once you choke someone on like 4 bases and you've got several creep tumors over the other spots. It's hard for the AI to adapt and take one. Yeah. It's just not going to sit there and occupy it knowing that it has to clear creep out.
Yep.
So you end up smothering them, and that is what happened here.
And yeah, pointed out in the chat, we saw a lot of changelings that game, actually kind of going down left and right. I do really like that play. I am curious how much it could confuse the other bot potentially, but if there's detection there, obviously it won't. So yeah.
You could see throughout the game that Spud was actually reacting to them. You had called out when some of them died, and there were even points where it sent an SCV specifically to kill one. So if it has programming that's designed to like go after them even a little bit, it could mess with what their priorities are, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, we got a little replay here we're going to take a look at. But yeah, just kind of going back to the changeling. Say it does go up against a bot that doesn't know how to recognize. You could kind of do things like Scarlet's done, where you put it in their gap in their wall, and all of a sudden their army is stuck and can't come out, and they can't figure out why, kind of thing. Oh, God, yeah, just look at those Funkles. This really was the moment that Spud was supposed to push through. The army supply was heavily in his favor. But the Fungals just held it back, did so much damage, and really just bought enough time for the Broodlords to get out. Because it was close. Spud was pushing through and killing bases.
Exactly.
And these Broodlords came just in time here.
Yeah, and even here, like we saw 2 Broodlords go down there, a third one just about to die as 3 more joined them. And yeah, that could have been a breaking point as well.
That is some cool replay action there. I'm glad that's working out this season. Hopefully you all enjoyed those little clips that we're kind of gathering. All right. Well, we've got another game, potentially 2, between these 2 bots. That was very evenly matched there. It was looking very strong for both those bots at certain points in the game. So this next match could go either way, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. It's again, those were seconds of difference. Could have made
for sure.
Could have made a huge difference.
That's all it takes sometimes. What was it? I was watching a game earlier today where Command Center lived with like 1 health or something, or a hatchery lived with like 1 health. I think it was a Bly game where he tried to pick it off, and a matter of a millisecond, not microing those Lings around, cost him not getting that hatchery.
Yeah.
So, timing is everything in this game. All right, so once we're ready with game number 2, we're going to dive into it.
Potentially the last game of the night. Also. Let's see. I think it'll be like.
Well, there we go.
Raspers, Spiny. Spud.
So, yeah, you can't hear the intros, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I got to go watch them and make sure they turned out okay. I worked hard on that voice. It's a Zealot voice or a Protoss voice. So it's meant to be kind of, robotic in body. But hopefully you all are enjoying all the new content we're bringing for you here at Season 2 of ProBots. Definitely trying to make it more fun and more approachable for some new people, new people who might just be tuning in or kind of learning about the bot scene. Obviously, the bots have been around for a long time, since Brood War. It's been a thing, but we're really trying to bring it to the next level here on ESChamp. So thank you all for being here. Oh, welcome to the Crown Club, PL Kitty. Thank you so much for joining the Crown Club member. And oh yeah, Old Man Toast as well, renewing that earlier. I just recently became a Crown Club member myself.
Ooh,
Yes, so you
nice.
get some cool perks. Definitely, again, check it out if you haven't already before this broadcast is up tonight. It's the best way to support ESChamp and future seasons of ProBots. So,
Sure.
all right, we're on Zen. This is one of my favorite maps. I really like these maps with the little mineral walls in the middle.
Yeah.
It creates for some interesting tactics because you can sneak, clear them out and do some little rushes, or I don't know. Just
Yeah, it's kind of
pull
a
them in.
more. It's almost replaced the destructible rock type mechanic,
Yeah.
where it's different, and I like the way that it kind of requires you to put a worker investment into it instead of just, oh, I have some lings or marines around, so I'll clear out the rocks. Like you have to kind of sacrifice to clear.
Nope. Are you good? Okay.
Back-
Nope. I'm
yeah, it's
back.
Yeah.
Okay. I was freezing there. I wasn't sure if
Yeah,
that was
me too.
just me or not. I hadn't seen that screen yet. All right. What do we got? We got speed on the way for Spiny. Spiny looking super strong here, but Spud also looking phenomenally strong. Now, I think this map is going to be a little bit better for a tank push. There's some tighter chokes. There's some I don't know. It just feels like it'd be a little bit better of a map. It's a little less spread. Like the creep was just able to really consume everything, and Spiny or Spud trying to push right up the middle. You know, he's very exposed from a lot of different angles, and actually the choke did not play out well for him. Now that I think about it, because of the fungus.
Right.
So,
Yeah, he got fungled down. What's gonna work for him here potentially, and it could go either way. But again, it's those sight blockers right there. So if you're doing a tank push through or a marine push through, and they have infestors on the other side but can't see you, then it's gonna help you close that gap.
yeah, for sure.
It also kind of, in a annoying way, slows down your creep spread.
Well, and for a bot like Spiny, that could be very important. So, you know, obviously creep spread is a huge advantage for Zerg when used correctly. So we'll see kind of how that plays out. And yeah, the creep spread's already started here. That's what I like to see. A third base as well on the way for our Zerg player. And yeah, I think we're just going to see another bio tank push out of Spud here. What do you think? I think it's the same build, right?
It's looking like it so far, and we're getting Burrow again here as well.
Yep.
So shaping up in a pretty similar way so far.
Yeah, I think Spud only's got kind of the one main build, it seems. At least that's all. Oh no, it's its special trait. Doesn't necessarily mean it's its only build, but it prioritizes doing a tank marine push here. So.
Yeah. Getting Ketroc mentioning in chat there kind of strategies to have the tank avoid killing its own guys. So you could basically maybe not hold fire or unsiege like a player does, or a human player does, but make it target something else if it's in contact with friendly units, or target non-melee units.
Oh, yeah, that'd be smart. As long as there's something else there to shoot, you can prioritize that. Okay. Yeah, that'd be a good way to deal with it, I think. Because, yeah, the other option is, just on siege and try to kind of pull back. But
Yeah, and that's what you see human players do a lot, that weird siege dance.
yeah, doesn't always work.
Yeah, exactly. It's a pretty high micro sort of thing, so yeah.
All right, well, Reaper's coming across. So, yeah, Reaper's actually a newer addition, I guess, for Spud. A work in progress, as he puts it, as the bot author says. So let's see how much they can get done. They're actually coming into a relatively unguarded natural, but the Queen might be enough just to push away. Oh, okay, actually a couple of links coming out too. Yeah, these Reapers are going to have to turn tail. I would have liked to have seen him just honestly dive into that mineral line and snipe a few probes or something. Or, I'm sorry, drones.
Yeah,
Could have been really, really good.
There's a good number of Marines and stuff at that natural. Now, a big difference in this game so far is that the burrowed lings are already down, and there's only 2 bases taken. I think there were 3 last time, so it's going to slow his economy down.
Was it? I thought it was on the 3rd one that.
Was it on the 3rd?
I think it was the 3rd that he was moving out that he scanned. Can't remember now.
Yeah, maybe right.
We'll see. But yeah, no, it definitely seems like Spiny is
'Cause
quicker.
The economy is way better because I remember
yeah.
at some point they were like at 70 to 60-ish or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then ultimately like 80 to 70.
Oh,
And
here we
the
go. Yeah, it is
scales
a little
are
different
also-
because didn't the third float over next time? This time Spud
Yeah.
just tried to build it there, and yeah, it just got denied. So it does slow it down a little bit, but a quick scan when Spud recognizes that. Oh, what's
we
going
just
on
saw
there?
a weird sight blocker
Yeah.
dance. and then the
Queez is like, I just got to put a tumor here. Don't mind me.
Yeah.
Oh, the Reapers killed it. What jerks. That Queen
There's-
worked so hard on that
there's that
tumor.
little
God.
dancing through the mineral line to get them there.
I'd like to see a scan or something on this creep to try to clear it up. It's getting a little out of hand here.
Yeah.
But no, just gonna wait for the big push, I guess. We did see a Raven last time as well. Starport is on the way now. So as soon as that Raven is out, this push is going to be able to clean up creep. But Spud's just going to go without it and try to push into enemy territory here. Definitely a risky move any day of the week,
Yeah.
especially when Spiny's up 21 army supply.
And I think it's fortunate that it's insisting on going down the middle. I think it would have been better off taking that southern route that it was essentially on
Yeah.
already and then trying to swing into the base from the bottom. By going in the middle, it's just exposing itself a lot more.
And we're kind of seeing actually another one of Spud's weaknesses. It's got a little bit of ADD. When that one Ling runs by, the whole army tries to kind of chase after it. But here we go, big engagement. Spiny's just going to stream through the minerals. I don't know how well that's going to work with the positioning of these tanks, though.
Yeah, they're in a really good spot here. Only 2 of them, but they're able to do a ton of damage here.
Yeah.
Again, the vial's missing.
Oh, is Spud going to do it? Is Spud going to bring us to our first ace match of the night? So far, he is trading pretty decently, but actually, army supply is starting to go in Spiny's favor. That resupply is going to be so good for
The
Spiny.
burrows there actually making a big difference, delaying the tanks.
Oh, you're right. Oh, yeah, that is huge. And actually, now the Zerg getting on top of the tanks. Where'd the bio support go? It went way too far north and just died. And now the tanks will get cleaned up here, it looks like. Raven's out now, though.
Yeah, Raven is with them now. If they can stabilize here, then this is a good position. But there's like 6 burrowed units there.
And look at that
lane,
little wing run by.
burrowing and unburrowing, I think, in the mineral line too.
Oh, are they in the mineral line as well? Doing that? I love Burrow. Burrow is such a good ability.
There, and he tank shot some of his own workers there too. I don't know if any died.
Did he
But,
ever? I don't think he got Glio reconstitution for the roaches, though, did he? Because it didn't seem
Yeah,
like
I
they were
didn't see a
healing
lot,
very
no.
quick.
Yeah, you're right. They would be at full. That one would be at full already.
Yeah, well, little counter attack here out of Spiny. Spud does have a nicely placed tank, actually. It's going to be able to get a lot of damage on Spiny. Not able to break through just yet. It's going to have to fall back, regroup. But man, look at that economy. This is really where Spiny's going to win a war of attrition. Is just because the economy is so much better.
Yeah, this really is the big part because, yeah, I think Spud really kind of won the fight, but then lost the overall war, and ultimately had to pull back, and
Well,
it's just behind.
Not over yet. 1-1 advantage for Spud at the moment, actually. Spiny's upgrade's about to finish, though, so maybe for one more fight, Spud will have that advantage, but we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Yeah, he is now with the Raven support able to clear out a lot of the creep.
Yeah, those Ravens are huge.
Yeah.
Very, very necessary for somebody like Spiny to be able to clear that creep out and deal with that. Or even against Ketroc or something, those Ravens just very important in today's matchups for
Huge,
Terran,
yeah.
I think. It's just a very important unit.
Right.
Or it
Tanks
can be.
again in pretty good positions here. Getting off the armor missiles, also pretty big, but this
Not
time
a lot of
vials
bile.
are actually landing.
Oh, are they actually hitting tanks there? My screen got fuzzy, so I can't see.
Yeah, mine did too, but I could kind of see.
I can kind of see what's going on. There we go. I think the biggest thing is just, not enough bio here for Spud. You can see that army supply really starting to reflect that as well. It's just the tanks trying to push alone, and they're scaring the Zerg army back a decent amount, actually. The Hydras really don't seem to want to engage into that tank fire. But I think eventually Spiny should be able to whittle through these tanks, and losing more economy as well. Spiny's doing so good with these run-bys.
Yeah, there's constant harassment of just a handful of lings into this mineral line, and it's killed so much.
Constant. Oh my goodness. The humanity. Ooh. Yeah, more overlords going down. Spud's doing his darndest here, and I do like the bunker placement, and I like how defensive Spud is.
Yeah.
but he's just not able to break through Spiny. And yeah, once Spiny gets those infestors out, we're seeing Broodlords again, 4 of them about to finish up. I think this should be the killing blow here, unless Spud somehow has just a miraculous engagement. But like we were talking about with the tanks, those tanks are going to do more harm than good if those Broodlords show up.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they will push this time, not in a defensive posture, but pushing into his enemy base. And even the Lings here now just kind of overwhelming.
Yeah, it really seemed to be a lot more in favor of Spiny this time around. I thought Spud would be able to kind of push a little bit more effectively. It looked like he pushed a little earlier too, but yeah, Spiny is just on top of all this.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was the movement decision. I think had it kind of swung down south, went through the middle, swung back down south. It was a little indecisive on what its path was going to be. And now the Fungal's cleaning up the bio here.
Yep,
with Broodlord support.
Yeah, it should eventually go in Spiny's favor here. Yeah, more than double the army supply. Finally gets his base with those Lings. Those Lings have been at it for the past 5 minutes trying to get that base. And they finally finish it off.
Yeah,
man, what a set of games. It looks like no game 3s tonight, though.
No, some very close ones, but ultimately no split decisions.
Yeah, I'd say the last 2 series were definitely a little bit closer, just as far as the bots were concerned, as far as the engagements went. This game a little bit more in Spiny's favor than Spud's. Last game, though, was definitely a lot of fun to watch how close it was. But here we go. Spiny with the death push will end things here for our first night, again, of Season 2 of 2020 here on ProBots. And we're going to have 4 bots moving on in the upper bracket and 4 bots moving on in the lower bracket. Whoa. Was that an actual GG? Wait.
It did it in the last game, too. I don't know if it typed it, but it tapped out when it got to the main. It didn't make it kill everything. So, yeah, I don't know.
Well, and that was definitely a GG if I've ever seen one.
Indeed.
Ooh, let's check some of those highlights from that game. But yeah, just again, overwhelming numbers, just perfect reactions, able to fungal those pushes out of Spud there. What a replay! Whew. Look at this action.
That was actually the direct first-person vision from inside a blinding cloud.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that should be. Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah.
All right.
This was the moment that the tanks were starting to push, but
yeah, it was this burrow. That's kind of where I mentioned that we had about 6 roaches burrowed here that ultimately halted a lot of the progress, and then that backdooring of some Lings that just diverted so much attention for a good probably like 4 minutes, where he just had to keep pulling back.
Look at all that army going back to deal with it. Just a small squad of Marines, 5-6 Marines could deal with that easily, but he pulls the tanks back, the Viking lands to come deal with it, the Ravens come over, everything, yeah. And kind of like in that note, just a little bit of ADD for our Terran player there, unfortunately. Exactly. But still, very good games, very close matches, and just a lot of awesome stuff tonight. I am so excited for this season of ProBots as we take a look at our bracket here. Who do you think's gonna take it all? Who's your prediction here?
So some of them are a bit new to me, nothing that I've seen before. But if I had to predict right now, I'm gonna say that the winner of MicroMachine or Tier in the next round is a heavy favorite to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, just based on what we saw tonight, I think Ketroc's gonna go really far. Just the survivability, the macro, just taking all the bases. I think Ketroc's got a lot of potential against some of these stronger bots like Tier and MicroMachine coming up.
Definitely.
Here. So, it's going to be good. All right. Well, let's do one more member shout out. Again, thank you so much for all your support, Crown Club members. And PL Kitty throwing another little cheer in there with the dog emote there. What the heck is that? Oh, it's thumbs up. Thumbs up. Ian Leung, thank you so much for your support. And again, thank you so much to all our Crown Club members. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. And without the bot makers and all of you participants, this would also not be possible. So big shout out to everybody who made a bot, everybody on the AI ladder, everybody who qualified. You are all awesome. And it's so cool that this scene is growing at the rate it is. You know, it's really starting to see some pretty things here.
Yeah, and I mean, there's no, if you were on the wall or on the fence about kind of getting started, do it. Like, there's no better time than in the middle of a pandemic where everyone's just like stuck somewhere. So might as well.
We are going to do another season.
Yeah,
get on it now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap things up here. Again, thank you everyone for being here. Do stick around for the host at the end of the stream here, but big shout out to ai-arena.net. Go check it out. That is where the 16 bots that are in this season qualified from. Again, 50 plus bots on that ladder, and they had their first official season just recently to qualify for this. So definitely go check that out if you are interested in the scene a little bit more. They've got a really cool Discord as well. You can talk to the bot authors. You can start making your own bot. A lot of cool stuff. Oops, I lost my notes here. Where'd my notes go? Oh no, did I close my notes? No, there it is. Definitely type in !community. Check out our forum. You can get all of the up-to-date information there. You can talk to people. You can ask questions, all that good stuff. You can also type in !join to become a Crown Club member. Been over that quite a few times. Again, one of the best ways to help support ESChamp in future seasons of ProBots. You know, it ensures that Endersword keeps coming back for more and more ProBots action. You know, as long as the sport's there, he will be here for you, the fans, because he knows y'all love him. We missed you last season, Endersword.
That's it. I was I should say for about 2 months last season, I was deathly ill.
Well, we're glad you're back in action here.
Yeah,
it's looking good. What else we got? We did the AI Arena shout out, and YouTube. We are now fully on YouTube. So definitely check out all our videos. We've been putting up a lot of cool learning content and more to come in the future. And we're going to be live streaming here on YouTube every single week, Thursdays at 7:30 Eastern. Come back for more ProBots action. You can also get cool emotes and a sub badge if you choose to sub through YouTube. So a lot of cool ways to support ESChamp here. And yeah, I'm so excited for the next 7 weeks here. It's going to be good.
Okay. Should be good.
Should be good. All right. Again, stick around for the host. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And we will hopefully see you next week for even more ProBots. We've got 4 more best of 3s coming up, the other part of our first round of our bracket here. So definitely come back, and we hope to see you there. Have a good night.